The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The Podwans Podcast.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Podwans Podcast. I am your host, Char J, joined by my co-host, Hereth.
Going on, everybody?
And Ryan.
Hey.
Hope everyone is doing well today. Today, we're going to be recapping Season 2 of House of the Dragon. As what we did last week was recap Season 1 in preparation to Season 3 coming next week. We have a lot to talk about, and we're going to have a very deep conversation about all the different characters, story arcs, and even like the character combinations that happened during this whole season. I mean, this came out spring of 2020, summer of 2024?
Yeah.
So it's been
exactly 2 years.
2 years now since we've gotten a House of the Dragon season. But like I made my own icebreaker question for you two. Because with this being before we talk about this, but what is your favorite character? Because Ryan, I know that you haven't seen the whole realm of A Song of Ice and Fire, but I'm sure you can at least give me some answer for what you already know of Game of Thrones. But what are your 3 favorite characters from each of the A Song of Ice and Fire TV shows?
Oh,
Ooh, what's that? Oh God, you're gonna think about this.
So your favorite characters one favorite character from Game of Thrones,
okay,
one favorite character from House of the Dragon, and then one favorite character from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Okay, Game of Thrones is going to be hard for me, and you know this.
Well, I mean, I know that you.
I'm going to go basic. Give me Jon Snow. Yeah, give me Jon Snow. Guess I should go basic.
Okay. And then for what Hot D, what's your favorite character?
I think I'm going to go kind of just build off from last week of who my favorite was from last season. I think Daemon. And then
no,
this is Seven Kingdoms. Probably Egg. I think I enjoyed Egg the most.
Yeah. Hereth, what's your trio of
my trio
of characters?
I think the pattern for 2 of the 3 is obviously because I'm on YouTube. I can say that. Obviously, I'll probably have to censor this if I make a clip. Is I call this my duo of fucked up characters. So my favorite character in Game of Thrones, if you've all listened to my takes during Bale's reaction to acting when that used to be on our channel before it transitioned to his channel, my favorite Game of Thrones character is Jaime Lannister. Like, I love Jaime's arc in the first 4 seasons. Obviously, they butcher it near the end, but like Jaime's arc of like when you first see him in Game of Thrones, when he pushes Bran out of the tower, and you're like, whoa. Like you're like F this mother effer. Like he's like the worst, because like at the time when you first watch Game of Thrones, you're like, this guy is like the absolute worst next to Joffrey. Like fuck him. Like he's like he deserves to like get what he gets. And then obviously like the whole arc with him and Brienne in season 2 and season 3, and like his monologue about how he basically killed the Mad King, and that whole conversation with Brienne just really like hit home. And then like obviously like him losing his hand, like one of the most shocking moments in my opinion of Game of Thrones. Like sure, it's not as like shocking as like the Red Wedding or Ned's death, but like for me it hit just as hard. And then obviously the whole arc of him losing his hand, and then him abandoning Cersei at the end of season 6 to go join basically with Jon Snow, Daenerys, and everybody. Like I love Jaime's character, and obviously they ruined it in season 8, but like even like ignoring season 8 entirely, Jaime is probably my favorite character in Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon. This one might surprise you because it's obviously going to be one of the first characters we talk about. I think season 2 kind of solidified Aemond for me.
Aemond, really nice.
Like we'll get to it when we get to it, but like I really love what they have been doing with Aemond. Cannot wait to see how they're going to continue, especially knowing what's coming up in Fire and Blood.
Mm-hmm. And then for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, what is your favorite character?
I think Ryan already said it. It's going to be Sir Duncan. Yes, I know it's basic.
Well, he said Egg.
I said Egg.
Oh, you said Egg.
Mm-hmm.
I say Sir Duncan the Tall. I'm basic,
Which, I mean, it's not much of not a crazy statement. Like, I mean, I have to say the same for me. I love Sir Dunk. Certainly, like as slow as or tall as a castle wall and slow as an oryx. Like that's my guy right there. But for me, Game of Thrones, my favorite character has to be Tyrion. Tyrion Lannister is by far the most complex, but also like I wouldn't say like tragic character, but he gets like the short end of the stick, no pun intended, all the time by everyone that he's with, whether it be, when he was forced to fight at the Battle of the Blackwater and he succeeds and then he gets betrayed, and then the trial of, if he was going to be sentenced for the death of Joffrey, and like all the stuff that happens between, and then him going to Essos to join with Daenerys. Like it's a whole thing that it's so complex with his character, and all of his lines are just so witty, and just he's the funnest character to watch when it comes to Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon.
I almost went with Tyrion, by the way. Like I was this close to picking Tyrion, but I was like, Jamie just slightly edged.
My three favorite characters are Tyrion, Arya, and Tywin. Like those are like my three. Like that's my trio right there for just Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon, though, that's a hard one because as far as we know, we're not even close to getting done with the story. Like in season 3, like you're gonna see characters that are gonna get a lot more of the spotlight that didn't really get it much in season 2. But I'm gonna have to say, they're probably to say Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is probably my favorite.
Okay.
But I know that like with season 3 and then the North coming, like, you'll see.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be a lot of characters. I mean, we saw Craig Stark at the because when we recapping season 2, the very first episode we go to Winterfell and we see the Starks, and it's like, okay, this is the start of something a lot bigger that we're going to see in the next season. But Craig Stark has such a huge role in this whole entire story.
I love Craig Stark. Once he gets introduced, it just has so much aura.
I don't know if they're going to show the Hour of the Wolf in this season. It's probably going to be in the next season. But
I don't think we will even get Hour of the Wolf. Question.
I think we will. I think
if I'm reading too much,
it's a very important part of this.
We'll get into it more with JJ and Josh, because I know JJ's been tweeting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ryan Condal's been making statements about how the show will quote unquote end with Rhaenyra and Alicent's being wrapped up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm a firm believer of like, you need to do the epilogue. The epilogue is insanely important to this.
Yeah. So Game of Thrones is Tyrion. House of the Dragon is Rhaenyra. Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I love Duncan. I'm thinking about it more and more. I can say my favorite character is probably Lionel Baratheon.
Dude,
I think Lionel is like the unsung hero of the show. Like he's hilarious, but like the scene that he talks about with Duncan about like how, Baelor, or even like there's so many characters we haven't touched base with, like Baelor Targaryen. Like, but Lionel, like he's such a complex character when it comes to like his emotions and like what he cares about. And then he's like, you can come with me to Storm's End. I'd love you like a brother. If you don't, I'll fight you like a brother, or I'll hate you like one. But he's such a funny person to watch and listen to.
Yeah, I love Lionel's scene at the end of Night Season 1 when he basically when Sir Duncan is in his like feelings about how he got the king killed, and he's just like, I fucked up, and like I shouldn't have took an egg, I shouldn't have gotten any of this. And then I love Lionel just being like, bro, why do you care? Targaryens suck. You should just come with me.
Right. Any dead Targaryen is good. Like, I mean, like this dude like hates the Targaryens, and I love that it just foreshadows what Robert will become in 100 years from now.
But it's also like, I mean, obviously Knights is like, I love how Knights is coming out alongside House of the Dragon, because like you're getting like Lionel's point of view as we're seeing the Targaryens at their quote unquote best, and like when the dragons are at their most powerful, and it's like, man, Lionel got a point over here.
He does, yeah. But no, yeah. For those of you who are watching, please let me know who are your favorite characters from Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and Night of the Seven Kingdoms. You can only have one per show.
I mean, Chase already said Game of Thrones. They said, we already know what Chase is going to say, knowing Chase for years. It's Tywin, because the show died when Tywin died.
I guess. So Ryan, yeah, I guess for you, you're obligated to only watch up to season 4. Spoilers. But
I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, it's you got it.
I know.
One step at a time, baby steps. But you are well versed in the realm of House of the Dragon. But we're gonna get started with the recap. So the main thing that's different from season 1 to season 2 is the clear cut thing has to be the Iron Throne. The whole rule, because with Aegon the Second having the throne, it's a whole push of trying to get people to their sides. You have well, just prior in the last season, we had Lucerys trying to go to Storm's End to get the Baratheons. We all know how that how that ended. And then the beginning of this season, you see Jacaerys is in Winterfell trying to recruit the Starks to their banners because, we had what was the old guy's name? Who made the oath to Viserys? He made the oath to him in the first episode. I'm blanking on his name.
I mean, obviously, I could speak for myself. Like, obviously, because of like how busy I've been with like school and like obviously making clips, like I haven't had a chance to fully watch season 2 from start to finish. But like, I can't help you in that regard. Obviously, like I remember bits and pieces from each episode.
If there's one thing I'm bad with, it's names, and it's like worse in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, just because there's so much, and some people are just named the same thing after
yeah, that's his name. It's Rickon. It's literally Rickon. Like,
oh yeah, because Rickon Stark.
Rickon Stark, Lord of Winterfell. Like he's got like really white hair and but no, yeah, I remember it's like he's the name of one of the Starks from Game of Thrones. But no, it's one of the things that's so important in with the whole Starks, I know that may be different from Game of Thrones, is their oaths. Like, and that was like what is like the whole mantra of the Starks is loyalty. Like, you will never find a more loyal family and loyal bannermen than the Starks. Like, obviously it changes throughout the different shows.
But also, like, obviously this is the precedence that Game of Thrones set with the Starks. Whenever the Starks are involved in a war, that's how you know shit is getting real. Because they're like, I don't want to leave. Because like, I don't blame them. They're like, I don't want to leave the North. We got our own shit to worry about. We got the Night's Watch over here, and they got like, obviously they don't like fully know about like the Night Walkers, but like they got like creatures over there that we've been told about for decades. They're like, nah, like they're just content ruling the North. So whenever like anyone from like the South comes up and is like, hey, you need to join our cause, I don't blame the Starks. They're just like, I don't fucking care. Like,
yeah.
The only reason why like Ned ultimately joins with Robert is because of the Mad King. He's like, yeah, it's like the Mad King kept doing what he was going to do. It would have gone scorched earth in all 7 kingdoms. And then like obviously the dance, it's the same thing. If these dragons go anywhere near the North, it's scorched earth for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so if you know that, like if the Starks start joining a war, that's how you know shit is getting bad.
Mm-hmm. And then this whole like first episode of the season is just a race to just get people to their banners. Like, you see Aegon's trying to have these plans to go take Harrenhal, and we're gonna go and have Otto Hightower like get his cousin or his nephew Ormond Hightower, which we're gonna see in season 3, to their banners. Like, it's like their whole purpose and what they're trying to do is claim the Riverlands. And the whole Riverlands part of this story is so important because of what happens. Like, we have what happens with Rook's Rest. We have what Sharp Point. We have all of these battles that occur that are so detrimental to who's going to be on whose side. But we can't forget about the whole dynamic between Aegon and Aemond. Like, Aemond he's always been power hungry. Ever since he lost his eye, he's been power hungry. And with Aegon being this kind of guy who was never had any urge to sit on the Iron Throne, finally has it, but now he's tossed with a curveball about, you sit here while everyone does the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens. That gradually gets worse and worse throughout the entire season. It's like a ticking time bomb of when he eventually flies to Rook's Rest and gets himself completely messed up because he's being told to just not do anything by his council, by Alicent, by Aemond, by every single person there. It tells him to do nothing. And then Aemond is the one that does everything, even behind Aegon's back, and he gets absolutely fumed about it. But Aemond and Kristen Cole are in it for their own personal gain. But no, yeah, Hereth and Ryan, like, starting with it, just like the whole dynamic between Kristen Cole and Aemon Targaryen.
Well, not to like sidebar, but it's still kind of related to the whole Aemon and Kristen Cole thing. I got a question I got to ask for all this panel. I know Char definitely has an opinion on it because that's the way he just went on that rant.
Mm-hmm.
Is Aemon one of the best antagonists across all three shows?
As somebody who hasn't seen all of Game of Thrones, like I mean, he might be one of my favorite antagonists, like in general right now. If you can consider him an antagonist, I think you could.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like my top 5 antagonists of everything. So like Aemon's definitely up there, but I'm trying to have him compared him to the Night King, to Ramsay Bolton, to Joffrey. Like there's a lot of really bad
obviously.
apples.
Do you think you need another like season or so to like form that kind of opinion with compare him to everybody else?
But this
in the
next
franchise?
season, Ryan, you'll see, because Hereth, you've read Fire and Blood, correct?
I've read like pieces of it, and obviously I've talked to Kels about it, so like I know pretty much everything that happens with all Kels, and I had a really in-depth conversation after season 1, and they basically ran me through all the events.
As far as we know, Ryan, Aemon gets much, much worse. he gets a lot more ambitious and he gets a lot more reckless. And the idea that he has the biggest and baddest dragon makes him a little happy, a little bit too happy, and it eventually will come back and snip at him. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, but like obviously, like focusing on season 1 and season 2, obviously with what we have up to this point, not to spoil for anything for Ryan. Like, how would you compare like Aemon to like Tywin, Joffrey, Ramsay, and then obviously I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, but like the main Targaryen, like against Sir Duncan in Knights of Season 1.
Oh yeah, Aerion.
Yeah. Targaryen. Like how would you compare those characters? Hell, you can even like compare them against like Otto and like Allison as well. You can obviously go as in depth or as little you want to go.
But like that's the thing. Like, how would you classify a villain? Like I just feel like the villains would just be like, or like at least the antagonists.
So I think
in that case, it also depends. In this case, it depends if you're team black or team green.
Exactly. I was going to say it depends on your point of view. Like,
but I will say I think the show does a really good job of putting, Aemon and Allison and Otto as like the bad guys. I think the show is purposely trying to paint them more. There's no, at least how I see it. There's no like, oh, I could go either or.
But for me, I'm obviously team black, but Ryan Condal was so good at having them misconstrue it in a way to where you can understand team green if you look at it from a certain perspective. So it's like a unique thing where what is a villain depending on what you agree with their stance. Like that, like, because to some people, Allison, Otto, Aegon, Aemon, like that whole family, those are the good guys. Those are the ones that are on the Iron Throne. Despite it was a mass deception and whole confusion with how the reign was supposed to be succeeded, like they made it into a way that it was completely legal, and it was just exactly the way that it was done in Game of Thrones season 1, with Joffrey being like, "Oh, Robert's gone, plant on the throne, like piece of paper, shh, like that's it."
But like to me, how I would categorize the antagonists in all 3 shows, I would say you have the psychopaths,
Kristen Cole.
I would say like Joffrey, Ramsay, Kristen Cole, Aemon, Aegon. I would say those are the psychopaths, and then you have the masterminds, Tywin and Otto, who like think they are the masters of the chessboard and they can basically push anyone into any position. Oh, obviously, how am I forgetting the most iconic mastermind of all 3 shows? Littlefinger.
Oh God,
Mister, chaos is a ladder. I will push anyone out of the way. I will kill anyone, or sorry, unalive anyone in my direction to pretty much ascend myself to the top of the throne. Aemon, I would say, is like in a really weird spot because I would so classify him as the psychopath on this run, but he got a little bit of mastermind in him too, because I would argue that like Aemon has never felt remorse for anything he's done since he claimed Vhagar as a kid. Like he claimed Vhagar and like Kristen Cole had this whole conversation when they're sparring in season 1 in episode 8 when they're like going back and forth, and Kristen Cole is like trying to compliment him and pretty much like kind of set Aemon on the path of like, you are like 3rd or 4th in line of power. You are not touching that throne. You should like join the tourney. You should be like Daemon Targaryen. You should like be a battle of like the masterminds of like and be the battler for the people. And like you can represent the Targaryen family that way, like how Daemon did. And Aemon pretty much immediately was like, nah, I don't really care to be like the leader of tourneys. I want to be like, he basically, he didn't say it to Kristen Cole, but he pretty much was like, I want to be king and I want to just unalive Daemon. That's all I really care about. Like ever
Mhm.
since he got Vagar, he just like is dead set on the throne. He don't care about anything else. He's like, what is the fastest way I can fast track my way into that seat? And that's pretty much
Yeah.
how his entire character arc is going to be, like how it is in these 2 seasons. That's how it's going to be going forward. Because the two
Yeah.
things he only cares about is the throne and getting Daemon off the board.
Yeah. Or also making sure that Aegon
Well, I mean, that's
is
tied to point one. It's like he wants to basically
Mhm.
remove Aegon from power. I mean, it's very obvious in Rook's Rest. Like Aegon shows up and Aemon's like, "You're disrupting my plans. Get out of here. I'm gonna basically get you out of my
when he
way."
pulled like a General Hux on Snoke's flagship thing when Kylo's incapacitated, when Aegon's just laying in bed and then Aegon just like staring at him and like kind of like forcefully like making him hurt himself,
Well,
but just to like assert himself. It's like a weird like power craze
yeah, and it's like
that
it's
he
not even
has.
like the show writers make it subtle. Because like once Aegon crashes in Rook's Rest, you can't just be like, well, it was just a moment of like anger and like it was just like an abrupt feelings of emotion that like have passed. No, he literally Aegon crashes. It's like what 5 minutes past in the episode, and Aemon's already off the dragon, has his sister or his sword out, and is already basically ready to just like unalive Aegon right on the spot. If Kristen Cole
Mhm.
didn't come up and be like, Aemon, what are you doing? Aegon would
Yeah.
be off the throne. He would be gone.
Mhm.
Aegon wouldn't exist. And
Mhm.
then, like you said, like days go past. Aegon's pretty much crippled. He wakes up, and then Aemon's like, "Yeah, we're not done yet." And Aegon still remembers everything.
Yeah. And that's the hard part of it too, because the thing with Aemon is like even from when you're talking about like how he has no remorse for anything. The last time that I think he really had remorse was when he killed Lucerys. You can tell by the way that his body language, the way that he looked, that he did feel a little like a little sympathetic or a little apologetic that he did that.
And
Because the moment that happened, he was like, Vagar, no! And then he had like that look of what did I just do?
Mhm.
and I feel like
Because even because last episode we were saying that this was one of the moments that it was the point of no return for the war between the blacks and the greens. It was this moment when Lucerys Velaryon, the son of Rhaenyra, was killed on accident. Man, on accident. Though it was like an ambition for Aemon, it just wasn't how it was supposed to be. But that's what makes these series so important and so fun to watch, is that there's just stuff that just happens because it just does.
yeah,
Like merely an accident. Like Aegon be like trying to like usurp, being the new usurper of the throne, or not
even though it's
usurper,
from Aegon's
the
point of
new
view,
king.
it's an accident, but like it's purposely intentional by Otto and Alicent. Obviously, Alicent's going off the notion that Viserys wants Aegon to be the ruler. Otto just doesn't care. He just wants the High Towers on the throne no matter what. And any chance he can get to it, he'll do it. And then
And Aemon has like this like weird fixation on trying to humiliate people. Like the one scene where he's at the small council meeting and he starts pulling out his high Valyrian to Aegon. He's just
Oh
like,
yeah.
um, I want a pig. Like I don't know, I forgot what he said, but
I think it was like
something.
it's because I was watching a recap. It was like Aegon, he tries to say something of like tried to start a war, but like he stutters and he pauses, and that's immediately like when he realizes he's embarrassing himself because he doesn't know how to actually speak the language.
Mhm.
yeah,
But like he has this weird like desire to like be better than everyone.
well, I think that
Even like
obviously,
it can be the smallest ways. So just even like just speaking high Valyrian. Like he just tries to be able to one up everyone.
well, it's everything with Aemond you can pinpoint back to episode 7.
Mhm.
Think about it, like the way that he didn't have a dragon, and obviously he felt guilty over that. There's the whole scene with the pig and Aegon and Lucerys and Jaehaerys like making fun of him, but the fact that he doesn't have a dragon yet. And then obviously Aemond gets Vagar, and comes into the cave like I'm like I am king number one. Like I just got a dragon. I got the biggest one of them all,
Mhm.
and pretty much starts humiliating them over Lena's death. Like he pretty
Yeah.
much starts like boasting about that. Like pretty much like, yeah, haha, you guys don't have a mother anymore. Ha 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 ha. I'm the one in charge. Obviously, like, Rhaenyra is like still his mom, but like stepmom pretty much. You don't have a stepmom pretty much. Like I'm the one and I'm in charge. And then obviously that leads to the kids cutting out Aemon's eye.
Yeah.
Everything you can
Yeah.
point back to that moment in time, it was those like 2 or 3 days is what
Yeah.
like
That
basically
moment on,
sent
like
Aemon.
those two families will despise each other. Like from that moment on, and even into season 2, like, and even into season 3, like we're gonna see Jacaerys have like he's gonna be at the gullet. May I preface? Um, but no, they will never, never share a smile with each other ever again. Ever since that last dinner with Viserys, they will never ever enjoy each other's company. But with what I was saying earlier about the race to get people to their banners, Aegon wants to get to Harrenhal as fast as he can because the Riverlands are vital to winning this war. And you know who beats him there? Daemon Targaryen on the back of Caraxes, going to talk to is it what's the name there? Something Strong.
Laryn
Oh.
Strong,
I think is it Simon Strong?
Simon.
No, Laris is Clubfoot.
Yep.
I think it's Simon Strong. I think that's his name.
Oh yeah, because
Um,
there's the whole speech about like, oh, I'm not like I don't really care about this stuff.
yes. And then there's this whole thing about wanting to, because Damon, obviously, well, as we mentioned in the last episode, excuse me, he's very, very much like Aemon. He's power hungry. But Damon's at that point in time where is he going to amass this army for himself or for Rhaenyra? Because throughout the entire season, we have no idea if Damon's going to turn heel or not. We have no idea. Because we think that, like, okay, well, if he's going to get all of these houses, he's going to get the Blackwoods and he's going to get the Tullys. He's going to like meet up with Oscar and have them recruit his bannermen. And it's a whole thing of, is this going to be for him or is it going to be for Rhaenyra?
Well,
And then eventually we do see what happens. But yeah, Hereth, what are your thoughts on Damon's place at Harrenhal, but also the moral ambiguity of him either taking it for himself or for Rhaenyra?
I think it like you can track everything that happens with Daemon even before Harrenhal. Daemon is like
Mhm.
the most entitled character in this season. Obviously, I would say this season like kind of like even retroactively affects season 1. Yeah, he's like the most entitled character of the entire show. Like he is constantly mad and he's posting his anger like at pretty much the houses for not joining Rhaenyra immediately.
Mhm.
Like he basically takes it out on Rhaenys out of the gate in episode 1, pretty much being like, well, why didn't you unalive Aegon, Alicent, Aemon, basically at command? And I'm sorry, from Corlys's point of view and Rhaenys' point of view, like the fact that they're even on Team Black is a miracle because like they have every justification to not be on Team Black, to be on the opposite side of the coin. Like because from their point of view, if you remember correctly about season 1, Corlys and Rhaenys are under the impression that Rhaenyra and Daemon worked together to unalive their son. Like that's what they remember of the event that happened. Because in
Yeah.
their minds, like Rhaenyra and Daemon conspired together and had him Laenor
The thing is
unalive
about that,
so
though,
they could
is like,
get hook up. And I'm not done yet. I gotta defend.
Yeah.
I gotta defend Corlys and Rhaenys. Corlys has no rights to basically defend Lucerys and Jaehaerys. Like he should be more like his brother in episode 8 of like they're not aired at Driftmark. They don't have because if you remember how Corlys' arc has gone this entire show, all he cares about is bloodline. Bloodline. I want to get Rhaenys on the throne. I want to make sure the Velaryons are on the throne. This and that.
Mhm.
But he's able to look that to the side for his morals because he knows that Lucerys and Jaehaerys are like good people. They're good intended
Mhm.
people. So making them both the heir to Driftmark is the right thing to do in the situation.
The
So
thing is, though, as I mentioned before,
Yeah.
with oaths, as I said, Rhaenys and Corlys have an oath to Rhaenyra, despite what they think about what happened to Laenor, whether or not they transpired to off him and then have Rhaenyra go with Daemon, or whether Daemon, like, whatever you think, the oath to the Targaryens hold more weight than gold. Like, it's either you make that oath, and if you break it, you're probably going to end up like Laenor, even though he didn't really die. But
I mean, their minds.
it's going to be like the
they're-
same
they're go-
outcome. Like, it's
Yeah.
very important that despite what animosity that they have towards Daemon and Rhaenyra, getting together with him, they have to follow. They have to, because that was what Viserys wanted, and they remember that. Like, that's this. Like, they could have joined Team Green, no problem. They could have easily joined Team Green. But you know how much different the story would have been because of the whole blockade of King's Landing and even the Triarchy. Like, it's a whole, like, the whole Velaryon storyline is so important.
Well,
But for Daemon, like,
well, going back to the rainy side of it all, because like Daemon, I feel like as a character is constantly trying to like take his vengeance, and like the fact that like he thinks like everyone should care about it, like everyone should be
Mhm.
like at the same level of care that he is at. When Daemon, like just like Aemond, is just in it for the power. Like he's pissed off constantly at like Rhaenys and Eric and like the lady or Warmley. Like he's pissed at everyone because they don't care as much as he does. They're not as angry as he does. But it's like, David, they don't care about it because like they're not just your swords to be ordered. They're
mhm.
not just people to like do all your dirty work for you. Like you have to earn that respect. But like he constantly feels like just because he's like in a place of power, that they deserve and they should be just following his orders without like just blind loyalty. Like they don't care about this political war between these two families. They
Mhm.
just see like, oh, two Targaryens sides are just basically fighting for each other and just basically unaliving each other just for the sake of the throne. They don't really care
Yeah, no,
about this
yeah.
conflict.
But like, and then the Riverlands come together eventually, and then you see Oscar Tully becomes, Lord of Riverrun, and like warden of, or like he rules the Riverlands essentially. Um,
Yeah. And then
and then the whole thing happens with Burning Mill. The whole thing with Burning Mill is a huge part of this storyline because when they were, waiting in the Godswood over there in Harrenhal, when I said, is it Brendan Blackwood, the one where he gets executed by Daemon? Because it was like, yeah, if you off this guy for the treachery that he caused at the Burning Mill, we will call the banners and join your side. But if you don't do it, we will not join you, because this guy deceived the Riverlands and offed a bunch of people during the Burning Mill, and also the deception of the Blackwoods and the Brackens. That feud's been going on forever. And you see it in season 1 when Rhaenyra was trying to find a husband and the Brackens and the Blackwoods were at each other's necks. But this is carried into season 2 with a ton of casualties
I mean, we
by the
haven't
hands of
talked
Brendan Blackwood.
we haven't talked about the most treacherous thing Daemon did this entire season. Like we're just skipping the Harrenhal. Are we just gonna forget about blood and cheese?
Oh, a son for a son.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a part of the throne, and kind of like, no, not well,
It goes
this
back.
guy was sent. They were sent by Daemon. These are one of like Daemon's like city watchmen. So it was like very gruesome to see like a kid with its like it's awful. But like that's what the show's about. It's like very gruesome, like dark storylines that just happen for the sake of the story. But nothing, I kid you not, nothing has made Aegon more ambitious. This is like the Kickstarter to Aegon wanting to go do something about it.
Mhm.
Was when they was it Jaehaerys? Was the
Yeah, it's
kid's name?
Jahara and Jaharis, right? The twins, I think they are.
Yeah, and the thing is with Helena's character, Helena is a very important one because we see with Damon and the Blackwood or the Godswood with the werewood tree that he sees her, but she's able to see things before they happen.
Hmm?
It's just like with later on, eventually when she has a confrontation with Aemond, and Aemon's like trying to like make her be a dragon rider because she's got a dragon, and is it Dreamfire? I believe she's a Dreamfire is her dragon's name. But Helena was honest with them. I think that was what makes her such a even though if you're on Team Black, you like Helena. You know that she's going through a bunch of shit with Aegon and Aemon and even Alicent, like her own mother.
And Daemon indirectly because of what Aemon did to Lucerys, and like going back to what I was saying about how Daemon is being entitled and trying to take his vengeance on anyone for the sake of Rhaenyra. Like he's doing this because he thinks it's the right thing for Rhaenyra, but it's not. Daemon's just doing it because he wants to.
Mm-hmm. And then with the rat catchers and her being like, it's that one, and then the other guy, and then like, yeah, she's lying, and then the guy's like, no, she isn't.
And it's like,
and then the sounds, the sounds of.
I remember before the season, I was so worried about how they were going to depict this because I'm like, how the hell?
There was
everybody
no
was.
way.
I can as somebody who didn't read the book, I remember like reading on social media and like message boards. I was like, people were like very, very. I don't want to use the word interested because it's a weird thing to say in regards to the scene, but they were like, they were interested to see how this was going to be done.
Yeah, and they weren't interested in the act itself. They were interested in how it was going to be shown on screen, which they did it brilliantly, honestly. Like not showing anything, you can hear like the quiet screams.
Like even the aftermath is a lot. Like even the aftermath of like, you see the body with the head sewn back on,
and then we have to be reminded of it throughout the entire season on the tapestry in the intro. The entire season. We have to be reminded of blood and cheese, and it's gruesome.
Yeah, and
but that's how far this war is going. It's so bad.
And it's like that's why I didn't want to just immediately skip to Daemon and Harrenhal, because like basically Daemon in the first 2 episodes before he fully like gets exiled to Harrenhal to go basically like Rhaenyra's like basically earn my trust back essentially after what you did. Like everything Daemon does up until that point basically pretty much is just like I said, it's just him being entitled and just trying to like take his vengeance on anyone. And like, sure, I obviously talk about the Corlys side of things, but like Rhaenys also was justified too because like, sure, she didn't like immediately unalive Aegon, Aemond, and Alicent because why would you commit a war crime
purposes
for a war crime before a war even starts? Like, sure, they're usurpers. Sure, Rhaenyra should be on the throne, but like that doesn't like immediately justify her unaliving the 3 on the spot. They all should like go through the repercussions of going through trial and getting captured and all that. And Rhaenys, ultimately, like you said, like she obviously had justification to like be on Team Green. Obviously, she's where she's at in Team Black, or just not even be involved at all. Like all 3 paths for Corlys and her made sense, but Rhaenys was so loyal to Rhaenyra that it ultimately got her unalived at Rook's Rest. Like Rhaenys didn't need to volunteer herself for Rook's Rest, but she was like, no. This is the biggest dragon we have next to Vhagar. We need to go. If we don't do this, they'll just like run right through Rook Rest. And ultimately, because of it, loses her life. So it's like, that's why I'm like so pissed off at Daemon in like the first 2 episodes, because it's like, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. I'm like, she's more doing enough than she honestly should be doing, guys. Like check yourself, Daemon.
Yeah, and speaking of Daemon, like with the whole series of him and Harrenhal with Alice Rivers, like it's so weird. It's like because like when you read the book, you hear about like you hear about like Alice Rivers and who she is, and she's like some witch, and she's like it's part of like the magic and like the mystery of Harrenhal. But it's so odd because Daemon needs a lot of work Because I know a lot of people say that the whole Harrenhal arc was a waste of time and that it's filler.
Hmm.
A lot of people say this. Like, a lot of people have a problem with him being in Harrenhal for, what, 5 episodes or so? Even 6 episodes? But it is essential for the story to be this way because eventually this war is going to be taking place in this region. And then you have the Starks coming from up north that have to cross the Twins and then go all the way down the King's Road to meet with these people eventually.
I would make
in
the argument
Riverlands.
without
Like,
spoiling anything. This is one of the most important subplots of the entire show.
yeah, and even though it took forever, to like it did take a while, but it finally let Daemon see things clearly. For once in his life, he finally understands that his role is not on the throne. The throne is so far behind him that he needs to let that go and focus on fighting for Rhaenyra, who is meant to be on the throne. That was what his mission was at Harrenhal, and he finally sees this in the last episode. Like,
However,
I'm so yeah.
he does see it, but the path to get there was really weirdly executed. Like I
Oh,
understand,
yeah.
I understand the whole like him like getting over his guilt with Viserys and all the flashbacks with that. I thought those
Or
were
even
beautifully
when he
done.
cut off young Rhaenyra's head. Like,
Yeah. Like I understand the Rhaenyra stuff, but like I'm sorry to be vulgar here because it's House of the Dragon. I don't really care. Him fucking his mom. Was that
yeah,
really necessary, right, Ryan Condal? What the fuck?
But we literally just talked about like 10 minutes ago about us chopping off a 3-year-old's head.
Yeah, but like, do I
it's-
like I get
that's a part of the series. Like it's gruesome.
But it's like-
terrifying.
like Blood and Cheese is awful, but like you can understand why George R. R. Martin chose to go down that path.
Mhm.
I can understand from Ryan Condal's point of view the whole Viserys thing, like that makes sense thematically. The Rhaenyra thing with like young Rhaenyra, him constantly seeing young Rhaenyra, that thematically makes sense. Him fucking
Mhm.
his mom, what narrative purpose does that serve? It's just shock value for the sake of shock value.
Dude's got issues.
You got issues,
No,
but it's like, is it
that was what
necessary to
Harrenhal
show?
was. Like for everyone that has seen Game of Thrones or has read any sort of story, like everyone knows Harrenhal is cursed. Like despite what Alice Rivers was doing there, Harrenhal has always been cursed since Aegon the First came and conquered Westeros. It's always been that way. It's always been a ruin that people have been destined to either die or like fail. Like it's literally a place where you go to fail. Like, and I can't even recall how many people were promised it in Game of Thrones. Like we're talking about Peter Baelish, we're talking about Janos Slynt. Like there's, I can't even recall how many, but it's the place has been cursed for hundreds of years and it's never changed. And it's kind of neat to see what those curses entail. Like the place is just a mystery of in itself. And
Also, on the point of like people not enjoying the subplot, I hope people enjoy part 2 because we're gonna get you're gonna get a sequel in this whole subplot of Harrenhal. I hope people enjoy it
because like what we said, we see that Aemon and King Aegon wants to make a push for Harrenhal, and we're gonna see some people at Harrenhal that are not of Team Black. So it'll be a fun storyline between a different character or a wannabe Daemon. It's gonna be great. But may I correct myself from earlier? It's not Brendan Blackwood. It is Willem Blackwood. I had to look that up. I had to double check.
Also, yeah, but like let's actually get into. Sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if you had anything.
Go
else
ahead.
to add.
No. Go ahead.
Like getting into like what Daemon saw in the finale, like when he touched the
And
werewood
the
tree.
werewood tree. Yeah, that was one of those moments where it's like it wasn't fan service because it served the plot so well. And you know from Game of Thrones that if you look into a werewood tree, you do see the past, present, and the future.
But it's like it goes back to what we said last week with the whole dagger thing of like, do we really need these connections to Game of Thrones? This one I felt like was better than the dagger. Like this one made more sense.
It understands his purpose. What like his ambitions have been a lie for his whole life. His role was never the throne. It was never going to be the throne. Viserys knew that he wasn't fit to not even be on the council. But Rhaenyra was fit. Like the gods knew that Rhaenyra was meant to be on the throne, and that was what the tree told him. But he understands that After this, the Song of Ice and Fire, we're going to see the White Walkers. We're going to see dragons dead. We're going to see me drowning in a lake of water. Not really a spoiler. I guess kind of a spoiler, but
I mean, you see it in
But, like-
flashbacks.
yeah. But like
Or
you
the
see
river
things
tree.
before they happen. And then also like with Daenerys and the dragons, like them like hatching in Vias Dothrak, like he understands that his goals should be for someone else. He is to serve Rhaenyra, not himself. Helena tells him this during this whole flashback. It's all a story. You're just a part in it, and you know
Well,
your part.
Technically, it's a vision, but I misspoke. Yeah, it's a vision of the future, not a
Mhm.
flashback. Because technically, it would be quote unquote be a flash forward if we're getting technical. But
Yeah.
I
but for
also
the whole episode last week, it was just about Daemon being Sisyphus, and that he will always do something good and always do something bad. But for once in his life, he understands why he's here, what his purpose is, so that he does something good for the sake that he knows what the outcome will be.
I mean,
Because before he didn't give a shit. He didn't give a shit about the repercussions for anything. But now he sees what can happen and what will happen. He knows that he has to do what he has to do. It's like in Star Wars. Like if you like the Force, you can see things before they happen. And Obi-Wan knew that if this happens and if we succeed, I'm gonna do the thing and go whoosh. Like that was his role in that story. And Damon's role is, I'm not gonna say the same, but that's his part in the story is not to rule. But that's my take.
no, but like I love how you brought Star Wars into this because I actually was gonna bring up the exact same example of like it's like because I think Star Wars has this kind of tendency. Obviously, this is hilarious. Like we're connecting the two main topics we talk about. Obviously, we don't have Lord of the Rings here, but like the main two of the three we're connecting right now.
Mhm.
And because everyone's like criticizing Star Wars for the point of like, oh, once a character gets a redemption arc, they're. But this, we're like, Daemon gets a quote unquote redemption arc. I wouldn't say it's a redemption arc fully, but like quote unquote a little bit of a redemption arc, and we actually get to see how he's going to move forward with this. Because like if we're going like the twin sons example, like Maul has this whole like obsession with I'm gonna kill Obi-Wan, I'm gonna unalive Palpatine, we're gonna get this done. And then once Obi-Wan goes swoosh, and then he's like, oh yeah, I messed up. Like I shouldn't have done this. This like obviously because it's the same thing of like this is the most important guard post in the entire galaxy. And then we don't really get to see what happens next because obviously Maul,
I would
unalives.
compare it more to like, imagine if Kanan had a vision of the future about him like sacrificing himself to save the ones that he loved. And like he knew from that moment that was like his time and that was what he had to do to be there at that exact moment.
Yeah.
To save them. Like that's what that pretty much is for Daemon. He can see the outcome of this war already. He already sees it. He sees Rhaenyra on the throne. But we don't know for how long or what happens, but that's going to be covered in a later season. But we are going to see stuff happen with Daemon that we haven't even seen yet because this was the end of season 2.
And
like we're going to see a whole new Daemon in season 3.
And one of the things like I found interesting about the vision that he sees is obviously coming back to like the Game of Thrones thing of he sees. This is where I'm going to ask the question. Do you think when like he sees Daenerys and the 3 dragons pop up, I always thought he misinterprets that as, oh, that's Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra is the queen that is supposed to unite the realm and fight fend against the White Walkers, the Song of Ice and Fire.
And another thing too is like he sees Bloodraven, Brennan Rivers. Like which we don't get him for another 80 years? Or no, 50 or so years from that moment on. Like, so like we're talking about he's seeing so far into the future where it's like we're seeing dragons dead, we're seeing White Walkers. Aegon's dream is a thing, and the best way to get from point A to point B is do what this tree is telling me, and serve the realm by helping Rhaenyra and continuing the story, for which my role is to make sure that she is in power.
Right, which is why I brought up the whole Daenerys thing of like, I think he purposely, the gods are telling him like this is what's gonna happen, so he basically serves his purpose. But I think in Daemon's mind, Rhaenyra is Daenerys. She will be the one that will sacrifice herself for the greater good of the realm and destroy the White Walkers. I think that's why Daemon's getting shown all this. And so he purposely misinterprets this and go, I gotta support Rhaenyra, because if I don't, we're all dead.
Yeah. Bless you, Ryan.
Thank
But no,
you.
yeah. Yeah. And then when Rhaenyra finally comes to Harrenhal and was like, what's all this? What's going on here? And then he pulls out the sword and then he's like, for our queen, yeah. So he finally understands that he doesn't matter that much anymore. He knows that he is serving at the expense of Rhaenyra. He knows this now. He's finally had a change, and we're going to see that in season 3. But with Rhaenyra is the one that's very, very interesting, because Rhaenyra goes through a lot in this season, and it's just going to get even much, much worse in season 3. So the dynamic, well, because with Rhaenyra and Alicent in season 1, like they were best friends. Like we're talking like borderline even lovers. Like they didn't like explicitly say it, but like they had a very strong affection for each other.
I think behind the
And-
scenes, one of the actresses said that was the goal, is to be more a little like the younger actresses, like
Yeah.
early on, were meant to be like flirty a little bit.
Yeah, it could be in a way. Yeah,
Mhm.
you definitely see that when they're sitting under the tree and
Mhm.
and being at their usual spot in season 1. But then you understand that throughout this entire season, you see Rhaenyra changing, you see Alicent changing, you see Alicent come to Rhaenyra, you see Rhaenyra coming to Alicent. Like these people are trying to find ways to find a resolve of something that is so inevitable that it's like, at least we can try to understand each other. That yes, Alicent, you made a mistake. You thought that Viserys was talking about your son Aegon, but he was talking about A Song of Ice and Fire. Like Rhaenyra was telling Alicent, why would Viserys tell you about Aegon's dream and the prince that
Then
was
Allison's
promised?
like, "What's a Song of Ice and Fire? What is that?"
Why would he tell you that? Like you are not of Targaryen descent. Like you are not supposed to be the heir to the Iron Throne, because this story is only told to people who are the heir to the throne. Like it's a very exclusive thing to know if you're going to become the next ruler of Westeros. Because the whole dream was to make sure that the realm was united under one ruler, under one Targaryen ruler that understands that the realm must be united to defeat the threat in the north. And that was only going to be necessarily known to the ruler. Like no one else needed to know that. So like why would Alicent even like bother to like confuse that or be some buzzer beater badass when it comes to like naming Aegon king? Like come on. Like
And thing that I find interesting with Rhaenyra and Alicent, Rhaenyra less so, more so Alicent. I obviously praise season 1 for one of the things I thought it did really well was like making you kind of sympathetic towards Alicent and how she has this lack of agency and why she does the things she does and why she asserts herself into power, why she tries to overthrow Otto, why she tries to put Aegon on the throne. And I thought the way they were able to like write it with such a nuance where you're like, I understand why Alicent wants to be in the power position. And like season 2, I really enjoy the first conversation with Rhaenyra and Alicent. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This narratively serves a purpose. The second one in the finale, I don't like. It feels like
Yeah.
they kind of took Alicent a step back, where she's pretty much just re-explaining her entire character arc to the audience, and it's like, we understand why you're in the power position, and then she like completely backtracks her entire like purpose in the show, basically being like, yeah, Rhaenyra, you can have the throne. We don't want any more bloodshed, but it's like I understand the whole nuance of Allison was the one that was vengeful, and then Rhaenyra is the one that's vengeful now, and Allison's like the more submissive one. But it feels like the story would have been more interesting if like Allison becomes vengeful because of Aemon's eye. Then Rhaenyra becomes vengeful because of the death of Lucerys. Allison becomes once more vengeful because of like what happens at Rook's Rest. Like, I wish they would have just kept one upping each other and becoming more like evil. Because like I feel like going back to the Game of Thrones parallel, if like Aemon is your like Joffrey of the story, your little I know like Aegon would technically be Joffrey, but like let's say like Aemon is in this case like your Joffrey psychopath character. We need a Cersei. Like I know Otto is supposed to be like the mastermind, like, but I want like I think Alicent was like the perfect person to be like a sympathetic Cersei. Like I think that would have been like perfect. Like, because like the way that like season 1 built this conflict up is obviously we talked about it being like how Alicent and Rhaenyra are like lovers of each other. That's how it's pretty much depicted in season 1, and it's like it's just like I think they like took Alicent a step backwards
Mhm.
to make Rhaenyra seem more vengeful. When I think they
But
could have
both
like
of
kept
'em-
them both at the same where they kept trying to one up each other and be just as vengeful as
Yeah.
the other.
Both of them are so ambitious with whether it's getting power, finding a resolve, or getting people to join their cause. Like you have Rhaenyra, who's trying to like go and meet her in in the Red Keep, like snuck into the Red Keep, like and try to talk to her, be like, hey, we need to just resolve this. I'm like, we can figure this out right now. Like we can do this later. Like it's just want to know that like we can end this right now. And I'm risking my life to do it. And then Allison does it too. Allison understands at the season that her children are fucking insane.
Mhm.
Like Aegon does not listen. Aemond listens too much and does whatever the hell he wants. Helena's suffering because Aegon is a bastard. Well, not actually a bastard in Game of Thrones terms, but he is a bastard, like as a person. So Allison is understanding that her role as Dowager Queen is not going to be lasting very long. Like she doesn't hold the power like she did in the prior season. Like she doesn't matter that much anymore.
Yeah. But
And then now she's finally understanding like what is this worth? Like what is the resolve here? Because now we're understanding that dragon riders are just slowly coming up, and that more and more fire and bloodshed is doomed to happen as long as this war keeps continuing. Because we know that more dragon riders are being found. Ulf, Hugh Hammer, you have Adam of Hall, you have Sea Smoke, Silverwing, and Vermithor all claimed to fight for the Blacks. Like, as long as this keeps continuing, it's going to be a massacre of dragons and people.
and it's like I understand that like I understand the whole thing of like Alicent's like finally realizing her kids are psychopaths. It just felt like the scene wasn't necessary. It because like the first I get it. Like I think the first time they did the whole Rhaenyra sneaking into King's Landing at the Red Keep and the conversation between those two characters, narratively, I felt like that was the best point to have that type of. After everything that happens in season 2, it's like, Alicent, this is like there's no coming back. Like you guys have like keep one upping each other. Like Rook's Rest already happened. Like
and so did Sharp Point. Like
there's no
Aemon
coming
just
back
went and
from
just
this.
burned Sharp Point, and then Kristen executed Lord Duskendale. Like
I also feel
it's
like
crazy.
I also feel like maybe the scene would have been earned if it was a 10 episode season. Because if what happens with the gullet, obviously I don't know if they would have the time or budget to put this in season 2, or the thing that follows it. Char knows exactly what I'm talking about. Would have happened in episode 8. I think that would have narratively made sense. Allison's like, hey, like you can have the throne peacefully, da 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 da, and then after King's or the Gullet, we have another battle that happens, and we're for sure seeing in season 3.
Tumbleton, yeah.
That would have narratively made more sense in season 2.
No, dude, you can't rush Tumbleton, dude. Tumbleton is so important to the story of the Dragon Riders. Like it's such a turning point, Hereth.
I know.
Tumbleton is such a vital part because that's like like people are going to be turning heel in this,
I know.
like that are on Team Black. Like we're going to see stuff that if you haven't read Fire and Blood, you are going to be stunned by this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to spoil it. I am not going to be the one who's going to be responsible for this. But Tumbleton, it is so important.
But that's what I'm saying. I wish this was a 10-episode season because that would have felt earned. I feel like they took, because from the way people were talking about season 3, but even like watching season 2 at the time, it felt like they chopped off episode 9 and 10 and just stuck it on season 3. When this like Goal would have been the perfect episode 9. Like, cause like we talk about Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, like episode 9s are like the big deal. Like if an episode 9 pops up, you know shit about to go
Ryan,
down.
now, how much do you know about the Battle of the Gullet?
I know nothing. I don't.
So
Good.
you're going to be blown away because the Gullet, the first episode is what I think it was 72 minutes.
72 minutes.
And it was an hour, almost an hour and 15 minutes of featuring the Gullet. And as far as we know from Fire and Blood, it is the most devastating and like the deadliest sea battle in all of Westeros history. Like this between the Triarchy and the Valyrian fleet is going to be brutal. And and the thing is, those like it goes like Gullet happens and then Tumbleton happens.
Yeah.
So like you can't have like Gullet and Tumbleton would have been collectively in season 2 if Tumbleton would have been featured because Gullet happens before
And
it.
I feel like the writer's strike had a part to play in all this. Like I
Oh,
know
yeah.
it was budgetary.
But
For
the thing is, Hereth, you cannot rush the Gullet. The Gullet,
no,
it has
I
to
don't.
be perfect.
I don't disagree.
It has to be perfect.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying I wish this was a 10-episode season because Gullet
yeah.
and Tumbleton would have been the perfect 9 and 10.
Oh, it absolutely would have been. But that's one of those stories that like you just can't rush.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that you just have to wait for.
Which is
I,
why
I was ready to wait 2 years to see the
It's-
Battle of the Gullet. Like
it's like if this is the best way I'll put it, without spoiling anything that happens on like for Ryan's sake. It's like if season 1 ended with King Viserys being like, Aegon's dream, and Allison being like, what? And then that's the ending of season 1. You're like, what the fuck? Like you needed like the finality and like the gravitas of 9 and 10 to make that feel earned for season 1 to have that punch.
yeah, but
season 2 doesn't have the punch that season 1 had because I feel like this doesn't feel like a finale. The way Rhaenyra and Allison's arc wraps up, it doesn't feel final.
I feel like Rhaenys' death was kind of a punch.
It's a punch, but like my point is like episode 8 doesn't feel like a final episode of the season. It feels like okay, like where's the Gullet? Okay, where's Tumbleton? I'm not even just saying that because I didn't read Fire and Blood. It just feels like something's missing from the season.
Are we talking about like okay? I thought you were talking about like where like in the story. I'm like Tumbleton's in the Riverlands.
No, I'm talking about where this season ends.
Yeah,
Because the Gullet, Tumbleton, King's Landing should have been in season 2. Should have been that should have been the finale of season 2.
In season 3, I don't think is that big of a problem. I like it's worth the wait to see what happens here. Like absolutely. Like sure, the writer's strike definitely played a part in delaying it and cutting it up a little bit. But it's going to be worth the wait when we see it next Sunday. Like it's going to be phenomenal, and I am so excited.
Sunday? No, it is next Sunday.
Well, not,
No,
yeah,
it's-
I mean,
it's
yeah,
next
next Sunday.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
There's this Sunday, and then there's next.
because I'm thinking about podcasts. I'm like, oh yeah, Thursday. I'm like, no, it's next Sunday. What?
Yeah, it's coming up real soon. And another thing with just like with talking about like Allison's like ambition, but we're also like Rhaenyra's, like finding the dragon riders because they don't have enough to fight the Greens in dragon combat because Aemon has Vhagar, Aegon's got Sunfire, like they have the biggest dragon
So
that exists, and it is massive. It is one of the last living dragons of Aegon the Conqueror's time. Like we're talking destruction.
I mean, Team Black. God, I don't want to spoil, but it's like, just like, I'll make it a basketball terminology because obviously the finals just happened. They're the
That's where LeBron
Spurs.
cried.
They're the goddamn Spurs.
You know what? You know what? Yeah.
Like
You know
they
what?
have
Yeah,
a
they are the
13
Spurs.
dragon lead.
Yeah. But then the thing is, like, Rhaenyra, and we see Ulf and we see Hugh and we see Adam a little bit, but we mainly see Adam with Alan, and then whole arc with Corlys and his two bastard sons, Alice and Alan, or Alice and Alan and Adam
Yeah.
of Hall. And then you see him shaving the head, like the white hair.
And then
off
you
his
also
head.
got the How to Train Your Dragon ass scene with Alan getting claimed.
Or Adam, yeah.
Dude, it's straight up just ripped out of house, like out of like How to Train Your Dragon. Even the actor himself jokes about it. Like he's like, yeah, that's just straight up How to Train Your Dragon ass scene.
Yeah, and I obviously I definitely think that Sea Smoke chose him because he just looks like Laenor. Like
He's like,
I genuinely believe that.
He's like, father.
Because it reminds him of Laenor. Like I genuinely believe that. But the whole like dragon pit taming that's like a whole that's like DEFCON level 4 ambitious. Because they're like, yeah, let's muster up all these Targaryen bastards and get them on dragons. 90% of these people will die, but at least we got potential writers.
I
Like,
mean,
we could have none.
I think
But
the
we can have
interesting
some.
thing we're kind of skipping over with the bastards thing, and obviously I didn't put this as a point because I think it's related to the Rhaenyra and Alicent thing, is Jaehaerys' point of view on this. Because of the whole
Just Jaehaerys, like
Yeah.
his like when he talks to Ulf in the dinner table, he's not like a bastard himself. It's just like it's funny. Like
No, but it's like the whole you bastards, like, are they worthy enough to fight in your war? Are they worthy enough to
or even be on a dragon.
be on a dragon, let alone
Mhm.
like
Because that was one of the biggest lessons that this season was about. Because right after Rook's Rest happens, when Melee's head was being paraded through the street, like we have a revelation that like, yeah, maybe the dragons aren't gods anymore, and the people that ride them aren't gods either. And then we find out that these common folk can fly the dragons. All you need is a little bit of Targaryen blood, and you have a chance of claiming a literal of a god, essentially.
Well, I think, and I only know this from the recap that I was watching. I think it was sometime in season 1 that Viserys tells Rhaenyra, like, dragon power is a myth. Like, it's all just you just gotta fake it till you make it, basically, and just
Yeah.
gotta be able to convince the people.
Yeah, and it's like such a unique thing because like for centuries, we were told that like dragons were like if you have one, you are like the most powerful person in the world. But now these common folk are able to claim one, and I understand Jacerys's like frustrations. Like this is crazy.
And-
Like we're just handing dragons away.
And the funny
Like-
thing about Jaehaerys, obviously, because I only read book 1 of Game of Thrones, but Jaehaerys' characterization in House of the Dragon is a lot closer to what I view Jon Snow as in A Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
They are very similar characters. So I laugh at this whole like, oh, are bastards worthy of dragons? And I'm like, there'd be a person you would really like who claims a dragon, who is a bastard of a Targaryen. Like,
Yeah,
he would be a Jon Snow.
Viserion. Yeah.
He would be a Jon Snow simp.
Wait, does he ride Viserion or Rhaegal?
I think it's Rhaegal. I could be wrong though.
No, because I think this was after. No. This was this before or after they did the mission to.
Before, because
No,
remember,
this is before they went to
because
the
remember
north,
he goes
beyond the wall.
because he has the scene on like Dragonstone where he touches.
Mhm.
I believe it's Rhaegal, but it could be Viserion. I could have it backwards.
Yeah,
And-
I'm.
And then you have the whole,
blanking,
and then you have the fucking. Like, I enjoyed it at the time, but like in retrospect, I'm not just saying it because of the internet. Like you have the like, it's like the
I think he flew on Rhaegal.
that episode is such a mess with them going beyond the wall, Walker, and it just skips so much time, and it's like this would have. I'm sorry, this would have been an entire season arc in the first 4 seasons of them going
Yeah.
beyond to Winterfell, beyond the wall, getting a White Walker, claiming the White Walker, bringing it all the way. It would have been a whole season arc if it was an earlier
Yeah.
season. The fact they did it in 1 episode was insane, and like there were so many time jumps where you're just like it's just so obvious. But obviously, this is like that entire point has been beaten to death by the Game of Thrones anime. I don't even need to touch it more. But it's like
But between like the story of the bastards, like Corlys and and Alan are probably the one that hits the most for me. I think that's probably my favorite character duo arc in this entire season, believe it or not, is Corliss and Alan.
Oh, I 100% agree. And it's
Because it's like,
Corliss is such a fascinating character because like he's so accepting of Lucerys and Jacaerys. It's like, but he's not accepting of his own bastard kid. And
yeah,
it's
like
so interesting
and
because
then he finally realizes, and Alan's like, I don't want your help. You never helped us. We fended for ourselves when we were broke, and then you seeing with your kids with Rhaenys, like we've seen what your kids with this Targaryen were like, but we never got the same treatment. We didn't get anything. So now you want to offer it to us, and we still don't want it. We are just fine. But I will do my duty as a member of Driftmark, as a member of your crew, and be at your disposal. Like, but do not treat me with the kindness of me being your son, because you've never treated me like your son. That's essentially what he's saying.
yeah, and that's why I find Corliss like a very fascinating character because I'm mostly Team Corliss, reading Fire and Blood and watching the season. Obviously, outside the bastard thing, I am mostly for the most part like I align with Corliss because a lot of the things like people will get mad like with what Corliss does throughout the story, but like from his point of view, it makes sense.
Mhm.
Like every
And what I
choice,
can say is that you're gonna love Corlister in the Gullet. Corlister in the Gullet's gonna be fucking phenomenal, and I cannot wait another week for this.
yeah,
I cannot.
and but like going to my point of like again, obviously like highlighting the hypocrisy between him accepting Lucerys and Jacaerys but not accepting his kids, because like I feel like Corliss is so blinded by Rhaenys should have been on the throne. It should have
Mhm.
never been Viserys. It should have been Rhaenys. She was the queen, and everything. Like I said in season one, every choice he makes is to try to put his bloodline on the throne one
He
way or
eventually
another.
he eventually realizes that, like, when he meets with Rhaenyra again, that, like, like, obviously Rhaenys can't be on the throne, but there's a chance for her niece essentially to be able to do that.
Which is why I highlighted that because it's
So
like
it's like,
he had such blinders to Rhaenys and how she got screwed over that he isn't able to look past it. Hence why
mhm,
his bastard kids basically get neglected their entire lives up until this point
yeah,
because he was so hell bent to get Rhaenys on the throne or his kids on the throne one way or another.
yeah,
Hence why he was
because
so willing to like give his granddaughter to Jacaerys. Like,
yeah,
okay, we'll marry them because like it was the right thing to do, even if they are bastards.
but he finds solace in knowing that, like, Rhaenys was the queen who never was, and then hence the title of season 2, episode 8, the queen who ever was, with Rhaenyra, and it's so important for Corlys to be like, Rhaenys couldn't, but you can. Like, Rhaenys believed in you, so I will believe in you.
And
Like, it's
I would make
yeah,
the hot take of the season. I think Corlys had the best arc of the entire, and it was not even close.
yeah. Like, you can make a claim for Allison. You can make a claim for, like, Kristen Cole being the first ever Hand of the King, but
Which
also,
you didn't even touch
like,
on the
Lord
Kristen Cole
Commander of the
stuff.
Kingsguard and Hand of the King, the first and only time in Westeros history.
And it's like,
But
well, obviously, I know we could have touched on the Aemon Kristen Cole thing, but like I do want to touch on that a little bit because I think it's one of the best scenes of the season. Like, I'm obviously still fuck Kristen Cole until like until the day
yeah,
is like it makes me mad that like Kristen Cole gets a cut. Like I wouldn't call him sympathetic, but you can understand why he does what he does in season 2. Like the whole monologue about like when dragons dance, men basically are are pretty much just like nothing. Like is probably one of the best monologues in the show.
yeah.
And it's just like
And you see it in Rook's Rest.
yeah, and it's like Kristen Cole is saying this, and I'm going, damn, Kristen Cole's right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Kristen Cole. Like I'm sorry. Like there's like two characters that like I'll despise till the end of my day. It's Otto Hightower and Kristen Cole. Fuck those two. But it's like he's saying, and I'm just like, damn, really good monologue. And also, speaking of Kristen Cole, I want to bring up something that's kind of related to this. I saw on Twitter earlier today. So, you know how George R. R. Martin came out recently and talked about like how he doesn't like the direction of the show with Ryan Connell, what they're doing.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm surprised because I thought most actors being kind of like it, like I'm not trying to say all actors are in it for themselves, but like you think like they would kind of like keep off of that topic,
Yeah.
not touch it with a 1,000-foot pole for their own sake. Baby on Frinkle came out and said, "No, yeah, I'm with George R. R. Martin on this." I'm like, "You said this?" Like, I'm sorry, he's right, but I didn't think an actor would talk about this publicly.
Yeah, right.
For like, because he works,
Especially the one that
he works for
about
Ryan
the guy
Condal.
that-
He works
yeah.
for Ryan. Like, he is underneath Ryan Condal. Ryan Condal is the showrunner of House of the Dragon.
Shit talking your employer, like
Yeah, which is crazy. But like
Like,
respect to
careful.
Fabian. Respect. I love him. Like listening to like the way he was talking at New York Comic Con. I'm like, dude, Fabian. Like he's a fucking like he's a G. Like I joked on JJ's post, like he is a ball knower. Like the way he talks about like media, I'm like Fabian is that guy. Like-
yeah, and
And it's like that's why I love like the show. It's because it's like the people that play the most fucked up characters in Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and Knights are like the coolest people.
oh yeah,
Like I love Tom Conclari. Like I love Fabian. Like they are like the coolest people in these shows, but like they play the most despicable people.
oh even like Arian, like
Yeah.
Arian.
Like Cersei's
They-
actress. You wouldn't
Oh yeah,
think
Lena Headey, yeah.
you wouldn't think like you'd think like oh yeah like Cersei's like such a terrible person, like there's no way like Lena Headey would be super. She is so like if you follow her social medias, she's so supportive of like what's going on right now.
That
like-
just shows you like
Same with
that
like,
just shows you
like, I
like,
mean
the type of people that these people
Yeah.
are. Like the acting was so good that it was like a real life version of them. It's not true. Like Jack Gleason being Joffrey, like I've never seen someone be acted like or acting as a villain be seen as a villain in real life. Like you understand that this is not real. Like this is not who he is as a person. But that was how good he was. People just hated him because of how good he was.
and like to put it in like a Star Wars parallel for Ryan. Sorry not to like downplay this. To me, it's like I would say like Lenise is like very similar to Denise Goff in Andor,
Mhm.
where you're like, God, Dedra is like such a fucking terrible person, but like Denise Goff in real life is such a good person that you're just like, because like I love like going on her story and like the stuff she's posting because she's actually
Very proactive.
very
yeah.
proactive and it's like very outspoken about stuff that's going on, and it's like the character you play, obviously because you're carrying the character, is such the opposite. It's actually kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's how I feel about a lot of these House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones actors, where it's like you look at the person like you think like Charles Dance, another amazing person, where you'd be like, oh yeah, you terrible, but like Charles Dance like would actually actively go up to Peter Dinklage and apologize for the shit he was saying, and he was like, I understand the character, but like I'm sorry, and then he would be actively outspoken against stuff that was happening in the real world.
Yeah. No, but back to House of the Dragon. I mean, is there any like what was your favorite episodes from the season? Like, I mean, it's kind of like what we did last episode, but your least and your favorite episode. That's it.
Favorite, I mean, I think it's no debate. I think it's Regress, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Regress is bodies the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that one?
Episode
I
4.
don't know. Episode 4.
Rhaenys' death, Aemond basically paralyzing Aegon, all that.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good one. I'll be honest. When I did my recap, I could not. Prior to the recap, I didn't really remember anything because it had been so long. And as the recap was happening, I was like, "Oh, that was this season." And like one, it was episode 4, then the other was episode 1 with Blood and Cheese. It was like, "Oh, that's this season." Like I completely forgot about those. And honestly, I think 1 and 4 are up there with me just because of those. I feel like those are have some of the more memorable, and I think that's what those 2 episodes I feel like and those events really drive the season. At least for me.
Mm-hmm. My favorite has probably got to be Rook's Rest is probably pretty good. Or even is episode 7 the dragon taming?
Yes.
Yeah.
The dragon taming one, that was a great episode too. Like I think that might be my favorite one.
The
is
Vagar
episode 7.
claiming sequence was batshit insane in the best possible way.
You said Vagar?
Or Vermithor.
Or
Vermithor.
Yeah,
Vermithor.
Vermithor. Yeah. Well, Vermithor and Silverwing.
Yeah.
And Sea
that's
Smoke.
another
Like
group, yeah.
those,
Like-
that was it was insane.
I love the score. I love the way it was shot, the way it was directed. Like
Oh, Ramin Djawadi's.
they were cooking with that sequence.
Like I even listened to the season 2 soundtrack like while I'm working out. Like it's so good. Like when I'm hearing just like what's the song with when they were the crowning of or like the coronation of Aegon.
Yeah.
What's that song called? It's so good. I'm forgetting what it's called. I don't know, it's just so triumphant, but it's also like so chaotic. But Ramin Djawadi is so good. He's so good.
But
But like as far as I know, my least favorite episode's probably when Damon bangs his mom.
that's a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
I feel
But
like it's
I think
hard.
well, you can name it for like any of the like there's like 3 episodes where
To
it's just
me,
like
this season,
nothing's really happening here.
like obviously Char would be shocked because the way I talk about season 1 of House of the Dragon, I felt like it compared really well to Game of Thrones season 1. Obviously, we didn't bring up Knights because Knights they body both of them.
It's its own separate.
But
Mhm.
to me, I think House of the Dragon season 2 is such a step down in quality, and it's like obviously like people like who have read Fire and Blood could go off about Ryan Condal for days and how much like he's mischaracterized Daemon and Alicent and Rhaenyra and like can make arguments for that. You can argue like I did about how like it shouldn't have been 8 episodes, it should have been 10. And like I still agree with Chase's argument with 8 episode seasons of like you can do 8 episode seasons and they can be fine, but you have to write it with 8 episodes in mind, not we need to cram as much as humanly possible into 8 episodes and character development be damned.
Mhm.
Like
I was gonna say I do know that was like the one complaint by the end of it that I saw online where it's like, it was shorter than previous seasons of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. It felt like it dragged on for some people, and then nothing happened at the end. Like it was setting up for the big battle, and then the big battle didn't happen. That was like the big complaint that I saw from a lot of people.
Yeah, because it's leading into the gullet. Like it's
that's why I say that. Like I feel like the writer strike absolutely destroyed the season. They shouldn't have tried to film through and shoot through the writer strike. They should have just delayed it
I
to
was gonna say
2025.
they attempted to for a little bit, then they completely just delayed production. Correct? Because it's a UK production, different unions, but like I think it ended up affecting it in some shape or form.
I think
it had to.
I think it hurt the season more than it helped it.
Yeah.
Like they should have just pushed it to next year. Like I think it would have been perfect in 2025, and then we had house season next year. I think I think it would have made both seasons better. And also, like, I'm still curious when George R. R. Martin said like because this is now twice George R. R. Martin has walked off a show. First time in season 4 when they decided to not like revive Catelyn Stark. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's arguably obviously we still don't have books.
Oh, Lady Stoneheart. Yeah,
We don't have book 6 and book 7, but like 6, 7. I know I just resonated, but like the way that George R. R. Martin has talked about Catelyn Stark, like she is probably arguably going to be one of the most important players in these books. Like the way he's talked about her, but the second time he's walked off the show is because of Ryan Condal and the decisions he's making with Daemon. It's like from what I've read into George R. R. Martin, that's kind of where he's pissed at. So it's like it's so interesting because like obviously like it's hard not to compare House of the Dragon to Knights of the Seven Kingdoms and like how these productions have gone. Like you go between like House where George R. R. Martin's like I don't care about what Ryan Condal's doing. He can do whatever he wants with the story, but I'm not approving of it. And then you cut to Knights of the Seven Kingdom and he's like greatest show. I love it. I love it. What they're doing. Like obviously like it's I don't pity Ryan Condal and like the decisions he's making because Fire and Blood is way harder to adapt than Knights. Because Knights of the Seven Kingdom, you could pretty much just drag and drop the comic, make little changes here and there, and just take it to screen. There's not much interpretation to add with Knights. Don't get me wrong, Knights is an amazing story. Just like how the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were an amazing story because everything is concrete. Fire and Blood, like you have to like interpret so much of the events that happened.
Well, because that's what the book's about. Like the book is supposed to be like inconclusive with how things happen.
It's
It's supposed to be the perspective of 4 different people. So it's nice to watch the show and be like, so that's what happens.
and it's like
Between like the Grand Maester and then the Jester and like was it is it Grand Maester Munkin is his name? But there's different things that happen from certain like perspectives in writing that you see that happen. You're like, okay, so this one was wrong and this one was right. But sometimes it's the opposite. Because with Lucerys, there was like something about like, yeah, well, did Vhagar eat Lucerys? Or did Lucerys, like, did he just eat the dragon then he fell? Or like there was like this, or like did he perish from the impact on the water? Like there was 3 different versions of how that happened, but we obviously see how
and
it went down. Like
I feel like the reason why I went so hard on the Alicent point is Fire and Blood is purposely supposed to be misogynistic and putting up the patriarchy to the point of the extreme. Like that is the point of Fire and Blood, because if like all 4 like maesters you're reading from equally hate Rhaenyra and Alicent to like a degree, and it makes sense for the era that the story takes place in. But I feel like they sacrifice so much to like go against it, and it makes sense of why they're going against it. But it's like I feel like they're removing some of the gravitas from Fire and Blood because of like the way Alicent was portrayed in season. I feel like season 1 struck a really good balance of we're gonna make her sympathetic, but we're still gonna make her vengeful, and still make her an asshole. Season 2 like took it, I think, a step too far. When I wish they would have just stayed. Like I don't want her to stay the same, but like I wish she would have stayed on the kind of season 1 path of, yeah, she's seeking power, she wants agency in her own life, but she can also recognize that Aemon and Aegon are complete douchebags.
Yeah, but
she picked the wrong side.
We can't ever be in the same person as season 1 because in season 3, like we know, like the type of character that she is. We all know like the changes and
but it's like
the shifts in her morale.
I get the shifts in her morale, but it's like I feel like they took it a step too far. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, everyone's taking a step too far.
No, but like, show. And it's like I think it's a Ryan Condal thing more than a like Fire and Blood thing. If that makes any sense. I think like he's purposely like. I get why. Like I think the change between Rhaenyra and Alicent to be like lovers was a good change. But I think the way that he took that change in season 2 of like them flipping sides constantly and Rhaenyra becoming more, I think it's an interesting choice. It just didn't feel narratively earned. I felt like it was talking down to the audience. Yeah. If anything else, that's how I feel about the final scene between Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Yeah. Is there any closing thoughts of Hot Tea season 2 before we move into the news?
I mean, yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head for the most part with season 2. Obviously, we'll get definitely more into it next week. JJ and Josh, I know, will probably have more thoughts on what they think's going to happen in season 3. We'll have a whole predictions episode, and I'm sure they're going to talk about their issues and what they love about season next week. We're for sure rehashing this final topic.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're ready to dive into the news. But for everyone in the chat, let us know what you expect to see in season 3 or game of House of the Dragon and what you're excited for, because I know that there's going to be a lot of events that occur and characters that could be on the chopping block and what you think. But anyways, what is your name?
Wait, what? Hold on, I gotta move the
Mogging Hereth.
Interesting.
Why am I mogging this week? I thought
so last week you were Luke maxing, and then now you're mogging Hereth.
Okay.
So like I thought the whole Luke maxing thing was a joke on the thumbnail. Here's where the mogging Hereth thing comes from.
I'm just mogging on you, bro.
I thought there was a deeper joke to be had.
All right, so
there's no joke here.
Let's dive into the news, and this is particularly Star Wars news.
Gaming news. We got new trailers for Zero Company and Galactic Racer.
All right, guys. I like to say welcome back, E3. We pretty much had E3 back for a week. with all these goddamn game
we've
presentations.
always-
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been like
No,
since
but,
E3
like-
is gone. Like, there's been a
No, but, like,
replacement.
But I feel like Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo usually would
They've
announce
done it
stuff
for
in
the
their
last
own
few
their own whenever they're on their own terms. We never had them
What?
all in June, all be like, we're announcing our
no,
fucking
they
shit.
do-
there's since E3 is gone. There's been a
They've
late May, early
coincided with
June.
yeah, they've coincided with Jeff Keighley's stuff. There's no E3, but there is a spiritual E3 where they don't have to show up in person, other than if they want to do something at Jeff's Summer Game Fest.
And I felt like I enjoyed Summer's Games Fest, but I feel like the 3 individual showcase I enjoyed more because I feel like it was like each studio trying to one up each other. It felt like finally Xbox said, "Fuck it, we're back. Like we're gonna actually try to go
Well,
after
then-
Sony."
and
And then
then
Nintendo said, "All right, fucking hold my beer. Ocarina of Time remake, Kingdom Hearts 4, suck my dick," and you're just like,
Okay,
"God
well,
damn!"
all that happened at the end. All right, a lot of people apparently aren't big fans of Nintendo's Direct.
I don't understand those people.
It is funny you say that Xbox is on top, and then literally like yesterday they were implying that they're about to lay off a lot more people. So
That's
Anything
Gaming industry at the
better than
moment.
Cube slop.
okay,
hey, you know what? I'm a God of War Luffy. I'm gonna buy that shit fucking day one and be the defender. Fucking Jack Quaid as a cube.
You
Sign me the
know-
fuck up.
And you know what? Whatever makes you happy.
So what about this Fable game? Oh,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Deborah.
apparently Char's
okay,
never heard of Fable.
Chase, I'm sorry.
Fantasy slop.
Chase, I'm sorry. You don't want to see Deborah Ann Wool fucking fighting gods in the afterlife? That sounds fucking sick as hell.
Okay, we're obviously here to talk about Star Wars video
Yeah,
games,
we're
like Star Wars games, but
Not Fable.
I will say we have all known each other a long time. You guys know me, and I'm a pretty open person. I can be opinionated, but that God of War trailer was fucking ass, dude. That game
Hard.
looks so dumb.
It wasn't a trailer. It was a 25-minute gameplay.
It was a
Let's-
gameplay
let's-
showcase, and I loved every
the-
second of it.
The cube was so dumb. I was like, oh my god, it's like 2000, it's 2009, and we're trying to capitalize on the Portal Companion cube again. Like, what are we doing?
But I love the concept of her fighting in the afterlife, all these different gods. That's such a cool fucking concept.
Cool. What the fuck is the cube doing? It's
you'll have
the
to see.
most out of place thing I've seen in a video game, maybe ever.
Doesn't God of War don't they have the stupid sidekicks?
Yeah, yeah.
I was listening to a
Yeah.
podcast. That's a thing.
But
in
you
God
have
of War.
you have Mimir in both games, which is pretty
Yeah.
much the cube's purpose. And then I'm
It's-
assuming they said the sword's pretty much going to be kind of the Atreus of the story.
A talking sword is fine. I have no problem talking with the sword.
He draws the line at Jello that talks to you.
A sarcastic British talking cube is
But
Well, it's,
but
it's not even
opinions are
British,
not
it's
be
Jack
damned of it.
Quaid.
I love how they actually brought Jack Quaid to do mocap work because they could have just been okay, you just go in the
How do you
voice
do
acting booth.
mocap work for a cube?
they
No.
put PVC pipe around him. It looks really silly.
But that's cool.
Okay.
They put a
That's
PVC pipe square around him.
it's
I
silly
saw
as
it.
hell, and obviously we'll move on. But I love that they did it in person because they could have just been you just go in the voice acting. We don't care. But the fact that they brought him in the mocap studio and said, we want you to actually act alongside Deborah Ann Wool, I think that's cool as hell for Santa Monica. And they didn't need to go that far. I think it's one of the coolest moments for the gaming industry, and one of my favorite things about these studios and how much they care about mocap and actually having people on set with each other. Whether it
Why
looks
the
silly or
fuck
not.
is it a cube?
I'm sure there's some sort of lore.
you really hung up about this cube.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
It's
No.
very D&D.
It's very out of place. Like for a franchise that God of War, if Ryan, I would agree with if this were a Baldur's Gate Neverwinter game that has some quirk to it. And I'm not saying you can't have fun in God of War. There's funny bits in every single God of War game, but this is this feels like it is when I this is a Gen Z millennial pandering fest of oh yes, quirky character that is out of place in video game. If people still had Tumblr blogs, they would be reposting this like crazy.
And obviously I'm biased to Jack Quaid because I love him as an actor in The Boys, and I think he's really good as Superman. And so it's I'm obviously gonna be liking this because I love fucking Jack Quaid as an actor. And also, I love what Santa Monica has done with the last 2 God of War games. So it's like I'm willing to give this a chance and see what they do with the narrative.
I do want to say, so Char, you don't know anything about the cube.
The cube
The cube's name is
Time
Frank.
began.
is what?
The cube's name is Frank. How do you think it's
cube?
Yes.
How do you think it's spelled?
All right, ready? Here, I'm gonna grab a little piece of paper. I'm gonna write this down. Ready? Wait, let me just.
Is it PHRANQUE?
I'm gonna go with this.
No.
Chase is right.
Chase is right.
PHRANQUE,
I love it.
which I thought was funny.
It's
I was
fun.
like, okay, his name is a simple name, but it's like, okay, we got to make it like
This
very
is
complicated.
Again, right, kind of like this is like that kind of annoying person that joins the D&D party. It's like, I'm gonna be a cube named Frank. I'm gonna cast magic missiles. Like, dude, shut up. Like you're a friend of a friend that got invited here. No one actually wants you here. Like, it's just like if like okay, that Clockworks like steampunk game that Xbox showed, like that looks interesting. That looks like kind of quirky, but it like fits the theme. The God of War theme, I was like, I'm not a God of War diehard fan, but I'm like the Frank Cube.
Is it just the Frank Cube thing, or is it like
it's that. Like, I don't mind the talking sword because I think Alana Pierce voices the sword. Yeah. And like, I'm sure she's fine. Like, she's done tons of voice work in the past. She's done writing. She's done journalism. I have no problem with that. Like this feels like they're trying to cash in on quirky D&D stuff, and they're using like 2010s Portal humor, and it feels very out of touch. It feels very out of place, and I think
it's like,
I think it's a bad move.
To me, it's like I'm willing to give it a chance because like I love the last 2 God of War games, and it's like I've only seen 25 minutes of this. Like, I want to see how this plays out the rest of the game before I'm like, this either sucks or this is either good. If that makes any sense. I'm willing to give it a chance because I think they've earned that trust for me. Where I'm like what they have done with Kratos and Atreus the last 2 games. I'm like, I'm gonna let them do their thing. They know what they're doing.
Cube slop.
I'll take Cube slop if it's good.
So Halo remake, huh? No one.
Campaign evolved.
But what about that Galactic Racer, baby?
Galactic Racer looks good. Galactic Racer looks really good.
Chase, we're gonna face each other. I'm gonna crash into you. It's gonna
Are
be
you
awesome.
are you a Wipeout or like XG racer game type of person?
I was big into Burnout.
I was big into Need for Speed.
This is like a genre of game like that this is going for.
I was a huge Need for Speed Most Wanted guy.
I was
this
same developer. Like the individual developers came onto this team to work. Yeah.
Like because there's tons of like indie games now that like follow the Wipeout and like XGR style racing. Even like, dude, even Star Citizen has its own league for this kind of stuff. I'm very interested that like Star Wars is trying to get into this. Obviously it has pod racing, but like the bike and the speeder stuff that is very like anti-grav, that Wipeout style,
like the carts that you see in the beginning of Solo. The
M60. Yeah. And I think it's really interesting because like this is a subgenre that like doesn't get a lot of attention outside of like indie studios anymore, and to have a pretty huge push in this space, and obviously it's a franchise game, which some people will just scoff at like at anything. I think it's really interesting because like I have some friends that are really into this genre of game, and it's like the stuff that you'll see pull off like on a lot of these games is really cool, and I'm interested to see if this will like lock in with some people who are into those types of games, because it looks really good. I like don't even care that much about the story of this game. Like, I'm sure the story will be fine. Like, I think it'll probably be on par, if not maybe a little worse than Squadron's story. but
I mean,
the gameplay.
So,
looks
well,
good.
so
I
you
will-
mentioned the story. The trailer that they released was the story trailer, but they released an article to go with it. It talks kind of how it works, and they call the game high stakes run based racing. To prove their worth in the league, pilots will have to engage in a series of challenges designed to test their skills and excite the audience. The runs based story campaign sees players carving their own path through the league, choosing between different events as they progress with unique unlocks and new challenges. If a pilot crashes too many times, they wreck out of the tour and will need to regroup, rebuild, and begin again. Only certain perks and unlocks earned in previous attempts are carried over to the next run. Racers will start each tour fresh with new decisions and choices to make for another chance to take down league champion Kestar Bull. So it seems like everybody will have the opportunity to play the campaign differently.
and one of the
Almost like a
things,
roguelike almost.
which I do find it interesting, like the how much like roguelikes are just taking over, and actually I'm kind of for it in a lot of ways. So I'm curious to see how this will handle. I'm more also curious about Chase getting where I didn't recognize it in the first trailer. I felt so bad my first reaction not recognizing it, but the fact that we're getting resistance crumbs is insane.
Oh
I didn't-
yeah,
I
that's
didn't notice that, but
the
cool.
the
Are we
storm, the
getting- are we getting
Imperial
Ace?
Stormtrooper. Yeah. The Stormtrooper Ace.
Was it a Griff Halloran?
Griff
Is
Halloran
that-
is going to be in the
He's
game,
he's in the
Yeah.
trailer.
but it's going to be
He's got
young
the
Griff
TIE
Halloran.
I didn't notice.
I didn't.
Oh,
yeah,
really? I
notice
didn't know
that.
Griff was in there.
I'll
There's even a
rewatch
shot
it.
in the background of the trailer where he actually hits a similar pose to what he hits in the Resistance in the background.
Yeah, you see his Empire
What about
tattoos and all that.
is there any other like members of Ace? of the
Nobody
Aces?
that we recognize.
But
I think those people would be too young for the
Yeah.
timeline. It seems like
It's-
they're going
It's
for.
like Mando-ish era.
You don't think for what's his name Hype Phazon, the Rhodian?
That-
He's young. You would
yeah,
you
he'd be
would
very-
you would see
Because he's friends with Frankie the Blue, and he's a Hutt, so it's like Hutts live for a long time. Because I mean, I don't know.
Somebody did say they thought they saw him in the trailer, but I didn't see him in that. But I mean, yeah, I guess it's a possibility.
There's also the Keldor that Dave Filoni voice of the same species as Plo Koon. He's also an ace. I'm trying to remember, but that's cool that Griff is in there.
Yeah.
Like Griff is one of like my favorite one of the aces.
Because like obviously it shows like the writers and developers care about like the racing story. I don't know if it was like a Lucasfilm story group type of thing or if they came up with it themselves, but like they could have easily just like gone all in on like Phantom Menace nostalgia and like obviously we still get a lot of that, but it's like they could have like doubled down on it. But the fact that we got like a deep cut that we got with like Griff, it's like awesome.
And then you mentioned pod racing. Obviously, it's in the single player campaign, but the article goes on to say eager pilots can choose to jump straight into pod racing as soon as they start playing through the arcade mode and will get to experience unique pod racer focused online multiplayer events for the very first time.
I'm gonna retire Sebulba.
Hereth, I'm gonna crash in you. It's gonna be awesome. You know, I'm gonna crash in all of you. I'm gonna do some like Mario, like banana, triple
No,
banana, like
I mean, we're gonna crash into
Be
each other and go
awesome.
crazy, but it's gonna be Team Pod Ones versus everyone else. Team Pod Ones versus the rest of Star Wars TikTok. Where you at?
we
Pull
just have
up.
like a wall. We like all are at the same speed, just a wall of death.
Yeah, we're gonna pull
We
up and
spot
just
someone-
destroy people.
No, and then we all just pinch him.
Dude,
That'd be
we're gonna
terrifying.
team up against all of Star Wars TikTok, and it's gonna be glorious.
So what is Zero Company about? That's what that has me.
Zero Company seems to.
I
be,
know it's not an FPS.
No,
No.
it is an XCOM turn-based strategy game.
Yeah, which is kind of like is it like Halo Wars?
No,
No, XCOM is. If you look up XCOM, that is the style of game it is.
XCOM, like think XCOM almost like chess. Like it's more. It's not like it's not a
I've-
real time strategy.
feel
Oh, I
like-
like
yeah.
chess.
Obviously,
I like
I've never
chess. I'm
played
becoming a
an
chess
XCOM
master.
game before, but I've heard it's like what XCOM meets Mass Effect is what the description of the developers gave.
Yeah, that seems to
Which
be.
is another Star Wars game with
I see, okay.
roguelike elements because we're also going to get multiple choices in that element where you can pick your companions and they may live or die depending on
Yeah,
what you
so
pick.
it seems like they're doing permadeath. I wonder if they'll turn because it's a Star Wars game. I wonder if they'll have like permadeath as an option. Like you can do like an easy mode.
And
Like, kind of the way that like Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor like made it so like there's basically a story mode of like you don't have to worry about parries as much and stuff like that. I wonder if they'll do that just for the accessibility.
Well, I'm curious from like a
'cause it looks like-
Lucasfilm
Go ahead.
canon story group perspective because obviously we know gameplay isn't canon to the story, only the cutscenes are. But I'm curious how it's going to be handled in a canon perspective. I'm assuming there's going to be a quote unquote golden path of these are the companions, these are the characters, this is the story.
That, or they'll
That
just
happens
do
in
what
universe.
like most games with like branching narratives do, is just like all roads lead to Rome. Like who makes it, who doesn't like really impact the story. It'll just impact like the journey, if that makes sense. Like I mean, like I know it was controversial, but I like also understand why it happened. Like the Mass Effect 3 ending is like the only way that game can end, is to let all the branching paths like reconverge into one. So I could see them doing that. It looks like they're going to have a pretty large roster of characters, which I think is good for the like permadeath thing, but I don't think it's bad for writing. Is it's just like some of these characters are going to feel kind of disposable. I mean, that's how XCOM is it's like you can get kind of attached to characters, but it's kind of like very like shallow character tropes of like the you know, think like there's a crosshair style character, you know, he's your sniper and he's like a hardened edgy person. Then you have your like think the Bad Batch tropes.
Yeah.
Like those are all in XCOM, but like that's as surface level as it goes. So like when you lose your demolitions guy, like bummer, I liked him, he was pretty cool, and he had like a little snippet on his little character bio that was really cool, but oh well, he's gone, I'll just replace him with the next thing. And so I wonder if like trying to add so much because it looks like the personality they're trying to put into these characters is like they're pretty different characters, and I'm like, how's this going to go with permadeath?
Well, also it's like how they got to stick the landing, because like obviously you're gonna have to pick and choose the people you like the most and stick with them. And I think that the whole thing with the Mass Effect thing is like, they will evolve and change with you. Like they will
Yeah.
develop. They're not just like characters to be like, oh, here's my assisted strategy character. Like they will actually be characters in the story.
There's a part in the trailer where it shows they're trying to highlight the permadeath when it was like one of the characters like dies. It was like a Twi'lek or something. It was like, oh, he was a good soldier, and I'm like, I have a feeling that's going to be about the level of dialogue we'll probably get when characters die.
So there was an article that came out earlier this week, and it kind of goes into details, and this might explain how they're going to handle this. So there are two types of operators you can have in your company: authored and custom. Authored operators join your company naturally as the story unfolds, while custom operators are recruited directly by you and can be fully customized in appearance, clothing, voice, and name.
Well, I know which operator I'm going to be. Fucking
So, like,
a smooth operator.
seem like the ones that have been like defined and written by the studio, and I'm wondering if those actually can experience permadeath.
Yeah, if they're get like incapped, or like you won't be able to use them for a mission or two, you know, if they're out.
The way the permadeath works is when an operator loses all their health, the operator is down and suffers an injury. Downed operators can't take actions but can be rallied by an ally, getting them back to the action. Injuries negatively impact combat stats. Accumulating 3 injuries results in permadeath on standard difficulty. No member of Zero Company is safe from destruction. So I guess maybe authors can. The emphasis on standard difficulty tells me that there can
There's a
be
story
a
mode.
story
There's 100%
story
story
difficulty.
mode.
So,
But it's like I'm excited with like the customizability of like all these side characters, because we have like a Mandalorian, we have an Umbaran, which shocked the shit out of me. I'm like,
Yeah, when I saw it in the
I was like,
in the
what?
cover, I was like, you don't really see Umbarans very often.
it also seems like, at least maybe with the custom operators, you can actually choose their specializations. So most operators have one of 8 standard specializations that define their role: assault, gunslinger, heavy, medic, scoundrel, scout, sharpshooter, soldier.
It'll be interesting. I am not big into XCOM. It is not my type of game. I understand why people love it, and people consider the original XCOM to be like one of the greatest games ever made. Like it's like a PC classic. But I don't dislike turn-based games. Like I like turn-based JRPGs, but like these like the strategy games, like the front missions, the Fire Emblems, they're not for me. Like I've tried so many versions of these games, and I can't really get into them. I think Valkyria Chronicles was maybe the only one that I thought was really cool, but I mean, Ryan, we talked about it a little bit. Your comment section, like, people seem to not be super stoked on this game, and
Well, it's because they want a Battlefront, they want a new multiplayer shooter, and I get that.
The more people bitch about how they want a Battlefront 3, the more I'm like, I don't want a Battlefront 3, guys. You guys are so ungrateful for
Well,
any...
here's the thing: nobody's getting a Battlefront 3. EA is not going to be the one.
Yeah,
if
they're
we
not
do,
making
it's
it.
not going to be by EA and DICE. They've moved on.
It's going to be like 10 years from now. 5 to 10 years from now, we're going to get like another Battlefront remake. But that's a point aside. But like, I think, Ryan, you put up this point, I think, and your response to all this, and I think you put it perfectly. For like the first 10 years, when EA got the license for Star Wars, people were nonstop complaining about how we want variety, we want more studios. We're tired of it just being EA and DICE and
You want to go back to
Respawn.
the early to mid 2000s, where 4 of the 5 games being released is like the equivalent of slop today.
And then Lucasfilm like gives you variety, but like variety with quality. And then everyone complains about how we're not getting Battlefront 3. And it's like, again, obviously I know these are two different sides of the fandom, but it's like,
they're not.
pick a lane.
They're not. They're not different sides. They're the same people. Like, there's like back, when I was on TikTok, I would see like people who have like, it's like, it's clearly the same username, and it's like they would say one thing on one video, and then another video they're saying something totally different. I mean, there's people in like the Star Wars TikTok community that have done the same thing, where it's just like, you're upset over this? ? And I think it's people. I think it is I love using it, but it's like, it's the Rich Dark roast effect. It's everyone says they want the variety. They want games like Zero Company. They want games like Galactic Racer. And then when they get them, they complain because it's not Battlefront 3. Because they want Battlefront 3. No one wants original things. No one wanted the Acolyte. No one wanted Last Jedi. They said they did. They want Maul Shadow Lord. Like that's the reality of the situation, is people don't want original things. There are tons of original movies out right now. Tons of them. There and it's not like there's never been a year where no indie films came out, but it's just like people are like, well, why is all the top movies like sequels and remakes? And it's like, there's other movies being made. Y'all just aren't going to them.
Well, I mean, hey, you say that, but the last month of the box office has kind of proven that, hey, it's not sequels that are making the big bucks right now.
No, like, I mean,
Obsession and Backrooms.
I want to say would you consider Backrooms an original?
It's weird because it isn't. It's technically an IP. It's an internet IP.
It's a franchise movie.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's only like internet nerds who know 4chan are really gonna know what the Backrooms is.
And BR chat, thank you.
Oh, that's right. You can actually experience the Backrooms.
Yeah,
I have. The movie theater.
I have. I've been to the Backrooms, baby.
But Obsession as well. Like that's like
yeah, that's fair. But I think with Avengers Endgame, I think that narrative's going to shift completely back to
you mean
that
Doomsday,
movie.
But
yeah, whatever.
I mean, you got Toy Story 5 out next week, and that's tracking like 150 million domestic.
Toy Story 5 is going to smash the
and Paw Patrol Dino, whatever.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think you're right, because I think when Toy Story 5 comes out, when Brand New Day comes out, when Doomsday and Dune Part 3 come out on the same day, I think I think you're right. It's going to shift back to where why is all these franchises and adaptations?
When I went to go see Mandalorian and Grogu this week, all the trailers were sequels and remakes, and it's one of those things that, like, yes, there's always going to be those big like indie breakout films like that happen, your Hereditaries, your Get Outs, but like I think largely it's just like bringing this back to Zero Company, is it's like people say they want things like this, and it's just like the internet shows time and time again that's not what people want.
I mean, and not to go back into just general movie discussion as we go back into Star Wars, but like going back to Toy Story, Pixar just released a trailer for Gato today, which is an original animated movie that's coming out next year. And a message board that I posted in, there was a thread for the trailer that had been up for maybe like an hour. Only like 4 posts. And this is a message board that really complains when Pixar makes sequels and demands for original stuff. But again, they don't go to it. And I posted it in that thread. It's like, all right, when the Toy Story 5 thread gets made in a couple weeks and people keep asking for original movies, I'm just going to link people to this thread because nobody fucking posted in it and nobody actually cared.
Yep.
It's just hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy.
It's 100%. 100% is what it is. And it's like, I'm not going to disagree. It's like a new Battlefront game would be cool, and I would play it, and I would like that. But like, I am more excited over something like Galactic Racer or Zero Company, and it's like, I understand why something like Squadron didn't do that well, because it's just a niche of a niche of a niche at a certain point. But again, it's like, this is the thing that everyone said they wanted. That, like, we've been hearing it, like, you hear it on Reddit, you hear it in forums, you hear it on social media, on YouTube all the time. Give us something like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Give us something like Rogue Squadron. That's what we want. That's what we want. I wish that Galactic Assault or Galactic Starfighter in Battlefront was more robust and more technical. Here you go. A game that's $40, has no paid DLC, is not a live service game. It's everything you've asked for.
It out several free updates.
I will argue
launch
it
as
was
well.
the antithesis to what people were complaining about with Battlefront 2. EA listened and said, "Here you go. This is exactly what you wanted."
Everything you said you hated is gone, and everything you wanted is here. Oh, weird. No one you have to get into Discord servers to play the game online right now. Then they do events, which are the Squadrons community is incredible. Like, they host they realized that the sweatiness was also driving people away, and so they hold like very casual events and stuff like that. They obviously have tournaments and stuff like that, but like, this is like, it's the Titanfall issue. It's just like, the people that scream the loudest on the internet don't actually play video games. Let's get that out of the way. Like, they're too busy screaming on the internet to be actually playing the video games. But it's like, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they want. And it's really frustrating that a game like Zero Company, that I'm sure that like this game has a lot of love and a lot of care into it, and people who really love Star Wars and want to and love XCOM and stuff like that, and know that they're going to have an uphill battle from the start of like, this is just not the most popular style of game. But it's like, it's so frustrating to have like a community that just goes back on their word every step of the way. It's really sad.
And it's like, I can admit, obviously being on Star Wars TikTok and being in this community, I live in a bubble when it comes to Star Wars. But like, I'm willing to, I've never played an XCOM game in my life, or a style of an XCOM game. I'm willing to try Zero Company. And if I don't gel with them, I'm just going to go, I'm just not an XCOM guy, and move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't really bother me
I'm
if the
willing
game,
to learn.
Yeah, if I love the game, cool. I got another Star Wars game that I love. If I don't, I have a bunch of Star Wars games that I can go back to and play. It's like, it's not going to bother me one way or the other if this game isn't my jam. I'm willing to try.
Mean, it's also frustrating. Like, I don't know if we want to go into Star Wars games in general tonight, but it's like, the thing that I've loved seeing online in the past, like, I'm going to say 6 months, is like this huge appreciation for Outlaws.
Yes.
Of like, everyone's like, I remember when this game came out, everyone said it was really, really bad and it was like the worst thing ever. Like, this is like my favorite Star Wars game ever now. And like, there have been updates and quality of life things, but they're like relatively small changes to the game. Like the stealth and how the speeder works have been changed, but like, we're not talking like they revamped like the flight system. They didn't revamp like combat as a whole. Like, they're just like, oh, we took feedback and we tweaked stuff. Like, there's only been tweaks to the game, not sweeping changes. And it's like, the game is largely still what it was when it came out. And it's so funny to me that people just like the resurgence of this, of just like, wow, this is so good. And I remember talking to someone not involved, and I was like, everything is infinitely more enjoyable when you're not online.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I'm glad you brought up the changes to Outlaws, because I remember when we did our Outlaws review, when the game launched, and we mentioned all these kind of like, because I think it was like, we kind of just equated it to like nitpicking. We're like, I wish like
small things.
Yeah, I wish I could aim on my bike.
Annoying.
Now you can aim on your bike. Oh, the stealth just feels super rushed, and it's not like other games where I feel like stealth does better. Here you go, better stealth. It's like, again, I still think the game is like a 6 out of 10 game. Now it's like a 7 out of 10 game, but it's like, that's fine. Like most games are like a 6 out of 10 game, and that's not a bad thing.
Well, the thing is, this is the other thing is, it's just like, I think it's so funny when people love to harken back to like, oh, games used to be so much better back then. And then I'm like, Star Wars Outlaws has like a classic stealth system where like if you get caught, you fail. Like it's a challenging system. And now people are mad about it. I'm like, they went back to what you said was really good, and now you're mad because it's like I remember the same thing with like Starfield, and people are like you would see people that would like, oh, games today are so bad. Like they used to make games so much better back then. It's like, oh, this game feels like a game from 10 years ago. I'm like, I thought games were better 10 years ago.
But also at the same time, it's like, I'm also tired of the crowd, and obviously I think this is some overlap with Star Wars, but also just gaming in general, of, I won't play a game unless it's like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 masterpieces, when it's like, that's a rare game. That's a generational game. That is not the norm. Like, there's more Outlaws in the world than there are, like, masterpieces in the world. And you got to just be okay being like, you know what, this game's just, it's fine. It's good. It has problems. But, like, I enjoyed it. Who cares? Move on.
It's better than Jedi Survivor.
That's a hot take, and I'll disagree with that.
That is a hot take.
Jedi Survivor is not a good video game.
Chase and I've had many discussions of Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Fallen Order,
games 10 years ago were better than Jedi Survivor. Okay,
most games are better than Jedi Survivor.
That's what. Wow.
I love watching Char's face up here because he's just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I've never played Outlaw, so I don't have an opinion on it. Like,
bruh,
it's a good game. You should play.
Pick it up. It's a Ubisoft game. Ubisoft games are discount immediately after they go on.
Yeah, it's
sale.
like dirt cheap.
You have no excuse. Like you can get it for like on Switch 2 for like
I
$30.
saw something. It was like, I think if you have like the enhanced version of PS Plus, I think you get it as like a.
You should genuinely like just spend like, you could definitely beat the game in a week. Like just like just casually playing it.
I think I beat it in like 5 days.
And you love gambling, right?
My friends,
I smell profit.
The way
you could literally just spend you could spend hundreds of hours playing Sabacc in that game.
The way I played like Sabacc for a solid like 3 to 5 hours in this game.
Good.
It's so fun.
It's genuinely really good.
Just wait till you get to the DLC where you play against.
I need to play the DLC.
Sabacc focused DLC.
There's people on the Star Wars Outlaws subreddit that will post like, I have way too much money now because I got really good at Sabacc. It's like they just post their credits. I'm like, yes, bro, it's so sick.
That'd be neat. Like, can you? Is it like actual like Sabacc rules?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like it's a variation. It's not like Carillion Spike. It's
Carillion
something
Spike.
else.
Yeah.
It's a different version.
And like
you also have Nyx that can like. You don't have to use Nyx, your little like axolotl companion. He can kind of like do little tricks to the game. You don't have to use him, but that's like a thing you can do.
And like the other thing I found interesting about Outlaws, and I think going back to the discourse thing of like, obviously I'm surprised we haven't talked about this with Zero Company, but I'm going to bring it up for Outlaws, is we've had so many stories about the Jedi and like the clones and that kind of stuff. And it's like Outlaws comes out and goes, hey, do you love just like the criminal underworld of like Star Wars and like the bounty hunters and that kind of stuff? This is your fucking game. And then like it went under the radar, and then everyone wants Battlefront 3 and like more Jedi games, which don't get me wrong, I love Jedi games, but it's like I want more variety in my Star Wars game. I don't want just Jedi, Force users, clone troopers constantly.
What was everyone's first Star Wars video game?
Ooh. I'm trying to figure out which one I played first. I think it was Lego Star Wars 2005.
For me,
I've definitely played older.
First Lego Star Wars.
It was obviously, I would say, I'm going to give you two answers. First one, I would say, Not Home was my first Star Wars game. I said it in the group chat earlier this week, was the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game.
Okay.
My home first game is same as Char's. Not the second game, but it was the prequel on PS2, Lego Star Wars PS2. But my actual first traditional Star Wars game, if you don't count Lego, which I find blasphemous, but anyway, Gen Z me, I would say was Battlefront 1.
I see. That's what I was confused. I was like, was it Lego Star Wars or Battlefront 1 for me?
Both came out in 2005, so it's either it's just multiple choice.
No, Battlefront 1 came out in 04.
Oh wait, Battlefront 1 was 04, Battlefront 2 was 05. You're correct.
Yeah.
And then it would have been Battlefront 1, but I played both because I was a child. I played both at the same time.
Yeah, I remember I had them both when I was a kid, but I just don't remember which one I played first. But I know that like I think I am almost 100% certain that it was Lego Star Wars.
It was Lego Star Wars because I was a kid, but
Uh-huh.
I do remember going over to friends' houses and we have Battlefront on PS2, and we would play like 4-player split screen. Those were the
Mine was it would either be Trilogy Arcade, or I want to say Jedi Outcast.
That's a good game. That's a really good game.
Unless
I
you
love
want to
Jedi
count,
Outcast.
was it Inside the Magic, the behind the scenes?
Those don't count. Those don't count.
Not even when you're like doing like the little thing with the stormtrooper and you
No.
just like torturing it with different ways to kill it.
No, that's a multimedia
I think
experience.
there's trivia games in there.
No,
No, but I think it would have to be something like it was one of those. Because I mean, I had a PS1, but I don't know if I had any Star Wars games, and I obviously ended up getting like the original Battlefront when I got a PS2. But my dad had an Xbox. I know he had Jedi Outcast. He eventually got KOTOR, and then the Obi-Wan Kenobi game. I want to say Jedi Outcast.
Bad. That game is so bad.
I want to say Jedi Outcast was my first console Star Wars game.
Outcast is with Kyle Katarn, is that right?
Mhm.
Yep.
All the Dark Forces stuff is Kyle Katarn.
Oh, Jarek and yeah.
Yeah, Jedi Outcast is the last Kyle Katarn game because Jedi Academy does not file. Kyle Katarn is the mentor of Jedi Academy.
I am curious to play the Jedi Outcast game because I know for a long time people that did play it
They're good.
before Jedi Fallen
They
Order
still
Survivor
hold
came
up.
out. Said like that was the best lightsaber combat in any video game.
It's still very good. They're really really fun games. But like Brian mentioned the Obi-Wan Kenobi game, and it's just like
I didn't play much of it, even though my dad
it's
had
like
it.
it's a terrible video.
I have all those it's like in a box because I bought like an original green translucent Halo Edition Xbox a while back, and I grabbed all those games from my dad, so I have them somewhere.
There's so many bad Star Wars games out there. It's so funny to like
like Republic Commando.
Someone said something I couldn't quite hear it. It sounded like they were just talking nonsense. No, Republic Commando is an incredible console shooter.
Halo 2 is an incredible console,
and it is better than
it came out a
Republic
year
Commando.
before Republic Commando.
I mean, we could have a whole podcast about like PS2, Xbox, GameCube era first-person shooters.
I was gonna say there's like an early, like the late '90s.
They're all terrible.
Mid 2000s or late 2000s. We can do a very wild tier list.
I wonder if like obviously this is gonna be way in the future because I want to do it like closer to Galactic Racer and Zero Company. Would it make sense to separate them by like the pre-Disney buyout era and then the Disney buyout era? Because it's like I feel like then like the era of like the 2000s.
There's not many post-Disney buyout.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s are like so different than the 90s. And like even like I feel like up till PS2, like I know that's 2000 still, but like I feel like that era of gaming is so different than like the Force Unleashed to now.
Yes and no. To just verify my UNC status, you guys were talking about Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. My first game was Star Wars Arcade, the
vector graphics,
trench run.
I was really so tempted to buy the arcade one-up.
It's good. It's good. It is definitely a cool conversation piece, and it is a good video game. It is genuinely a fun video game. But like real games, TIE Fighter / Super Star Wars was like my first one. Like it's been so long I couldn't tell you which one I actually played first, but like when I look at something like if you take Dark Forces to like Shadows of the Empire to the Force Unleashed to Jedi Survivor and Outcast, like let's just say like action oriented games, like obviously the way games control now is different, but like there's a lot of similarities in all of those games. Okay. And like you can definitely like draw comparisons between them all. Like there is that Nintendo 64 PS1 era of like figuring out how to move physical objects in 3D space in a video game, where like
that era of gaming does not hold up as well as
some of it does. Like some of it really genuinely does. Like I would like I was actually having a conversation about video games. I was like not your favorite, but what do you think are the best video games of all time? And a lot of those games do come from that era. Like I would strongly put like Final Fantasy VII is one of the greatest games of all time, and that is a fully 3D video game.
Yeah.
But when you play something like Shadows of the Empire, like controlling Dash Rendar is a chore. He's very slippery. The aiming it doesn't exist. So it's tricky, but you also have like, gosh, it's crazy to go back to some of that stuff where it's like Star Wars also does like claim the title of like having potentially the worst fighting game ever made.
Oh my god.
Terrascotica, yeah.
Masters of Terrascasi is like there are some really, really weird Japanese and early movie tie-in games for like Neo Geo stuff that's like not good. But like when we consider like, hey, this was like a like readily available at your local video game store, electronic store, like Masters of Terrascotti is largely considered one of the worst fighting games ever made.
Yeah. The reason I made that suggestion is because it's like obviously it's like I want to at least get a first impression for at least most of them. It's like obviously I don't want it to be like you and Ryan arguing for like all the 90s and like some of the early 2000s.
Well, here's the thing: there are like
Char.
so many 90s and early 2000s games that I have not played. I'm aware of them. I know if there's a story attached. I know like the rough story, but like there are like anything in like I've never played Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, because like
I never had an N64.
And it's not like Chase would do this like disingenuously, but like they could like rank stuff that like we haven't played before, be like, oh yeah, this is S tier or A tier, and we would be like, I haven't played this game, so I have no idea if this is right or not.
A lot of
a YouTube video and we'll show.
there's definitely games that like I would say like the original Rogue Squadron holds up really. Like I recently was replaying the original Rogue Squadron on an N64, and it still holds up. It's like still a very good video game. The original TIE Fighter and X-Wing games are still really good.
I do want to play
Forces
those
games,
because that's the first appearance of Thrawn in a video game.
Yeah. TIE Fighters are very like Dark Forces also still very good video games. That like first entry into 3D when they did Dark Forces like 2, a little less so, but like the Doom clone they did, still a very good video game. But man, like Masters of Terrascotti, Yoda Stories, Obi-Wan, and Star Wars Connect are like all just like
Star Wars Connect. Oh my god,
really bad, bad video games.
I'm not a fan of the movie adaptations, like the Phantom Menace adaptation. I'm not.
It's not good, but like
Super Combat Racing.
It's fine. It's smart. It's a kart racer in Star Wars. You know, like it's. There's the thing is like every franchise had to get in on something. Like there's like Star Wars Demolition, which is like the Twisted Metal Vigilante 8 style. Super Bombad Racing was like a response to Mario Kart and CTR.
And obviously Kong Racing.
Yeah, I mean it's a little Diddy Kong Racing didn't age super well.
Neither did Diddy, but
that's why I said Kong Racing, because I was like, dude,
you want to go to the Diddy race? No, but it's one of the things like it's pretty easy to rank like a lot of those older games. I mean, the one that I would still put in like triple S tier is Star Wars Galaxies, is by far the greatest Star Wars game of all time.
I still want to play Star Wars Galaxy.
You should. I'm
just not a big MMO guy.
There's workarounds to get into private servers if you've never purchased a copy before. But like it is the game that everyone says they want. Like 100%. It's when people describe, like without fail, when people like describe your dream Star Wars game, the people will describe it, and then like without fail, it is like the few of us that play Galaxies, like you're just describing Star Wars Galaxies. This is what you want. You want Star Wars Galaxies 2. Make it happen.
I'm surprised Star Wars hasn't really tried outside of the Old Republic to like get into the MMO.
Oh, because MMOs are dead. Like, that's the reason why they haven't done it.
Isn't it just Final Fantasy 14 and WoW at this point?
For the most part, you have stuff like Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 are still running. EverQuest is releasing a new expansion this month. So good
DC
for
Online is apparently still
Really?
gaming, which I was surprised. They announced something recently.
what was the Elder Scrolls Online is still populated.
It's the only reason Bethesda still exists. Nothing else.
RuneScape.
Nothing else is crazy.
RuneScape, yeah.
RuneScape is still huge. But like Ion 2 is going to be coming out in September, and Ion was like an MMO that like had a lot of like flying mechanics.
They announced Guild Wars 3 at Summer Game Fest. So
It's just that like MMOs are expensive and they don't guarantee sales or revenue. And you can definitely take a risk on something like Galactic Racer or Zero Company because it's like there's something like Zero Company it's a single player game, and it's just like it's going to be played for a few months and then it'll go on sale and sell a couple more units. But largely it's just that single player experience that you can take a gamble on.
I am curious
because once it's done, it's done.
Obviously, we'll get way more into it after we get past House of the Dragon and our coverage of that. But like the placement of the game is so curious. Of like, I'm wondering how it's going to survive, and because like September is just going to be a bloodbath of games. Where there's going to be so many games coming out where people are going to be talking about because every game is just trying to actively avoid GTA 6.
Well, there was something else coming out. I feel like on October 6th at the same time as Galactic Racer, and I can't remember what it was. It was
Did Call of Duty get bumped up to October? Like
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 4?
Modern Warfare 4 because obviously I remember.
I don't think it was.
They're also re-releasing Black Ops 1 and 2.
The reason why I remember
November
this.
5th. Oh no, that's for COD 4. Why are you pulling up Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare? Wrong Modern Warfare.
Because it's a good game.
That's true. October 23rd is Modern Warfare.
Yes, because
4.
I remember that because obviously me being in the 5
Yeah, I knew
community.
I heard they moved it
Because
up.
we were trying to figure out where Stage 4 is going to get placed in this madness, and we were like, "Oh, that would be the perfect weekend to do it." It's like that before GTA 6 comes out, but like around Call of Duty.
There was something that. Oh, I think. Oh yeah, Gears of War E-Day is coming out the same day as Galactic Racer. Sorry, Gears, I'm playing Galactic Racer.
Sorry, Gears, I'm playing Galactic
I was never
Racer.
a Gears fan.
I'm not a like big Gears fan, but it's like a franchise that I like admire. I think that like it's a solid franchise with the exception of that one weird Funko game they did. Like all of the entries of Gears are really good.
Ooh, Ace Combat 8's on the 2nd.
Dude, I'm telling you,
I haven't
this
played an Ace Combat game
this
in a
year
long
in
time.
terms of gaming is insanely stacked. There's like at least like 4 or 5 games
Everything
I'm for
has to
sure
be-
picking up.
Squadron 42 is getting pushed back. Like a lot of games are either releasing early or they're getting pushed back. Squadron 42 is getting pushed back.
Fable got pushed to February because
Yes.
of Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
It's like
Char, I swear.
like
Char, let me tell you about Fable. Okay, do you know a man named Peter Molyneux?
No.
You ever heard of a man
Good.
named Lucifer?
Yeah.
They're one and the same.
You ever heard about the Cube? Was it the Cube or what?
In
What
God
did
of
he,
War, yeah, it's fucking stupid.
The matrix of leadership.
No,
Push the cube into my chest.
Peter Molyneux is like the #1 snake oil salesman.
he's a
in video games.
snake oil. Yes,
dude, I
He-
remember the
this
GTA
is-
4 tattoo thing of like GTA 4 is on Xbox 360.
So when Fable was coming out, the original Fable, this is like OG Xbox. Peter Molyneux was like showing off this game, and his whole thing was like, you can do anything. Anything you want to do in this game, you can do it. If you want to beat up a kid, you could beat up a kid. If you want to be a wizard, you'll become a wizard, and it'll change how you look and stuff like this, and all these crazy things that they were even showing footage for. Like 10% of the stuff that he said was going to be in the game made it into that game. It was still a good video game. Like there's technology in the original Fable that has like never been like replicated in another video game. Like the more you use magic spells, the older your character ages. The more damage you take, the more scars you develop on your character. So there's like really cool tech in that like 2005 video game. but it just like he became this kind of like laughing stock because he did what was that God game he did?
Some of the
Oh, I'm
Cuba-
literally looking it up right now. It was, I think it was originally supposed to be Goddess. Was that it?
Goddess, yes. And it's just it's this whole like it was the most disappointing. I remember like my high school girlfriend at the time when I was like, I'm so excited for this game, and I was playing, and I was like, yeah, you could do anything. She's like, oh, can you like go swimming in that lake? And I was like, no, I cannot. It doesn't let me swim. And I felt very embarrassed.
Because it was a game released in 2005.
Well, it's weird that you mentioned this, and I don't know how this works. So, like, I was looking up that apparently, 22 Cans, his developing studio, released a game this year in the God game genre called Masters of Albion, which I'm confused of how they're using that name because Albion is the realm.
It's
in Fable.
yeah. I don't think that Lion's Head holds the name Albion because there's other like fantasy worlds that are also called Albion.
Yeah,
and there's also like another speaking of like MMOs. Albion Online is a video game that is not connected to Fable,
but
in
like
any
it
way.
is. We are going so off track, but it is literally like Fable.
Fable, the worst game ever.
Like this is literally like, and yeah, obviously, yeah, it's like it's very. I don't.
It's very Fable-esque. It's yeah. Fable is the best Fable game. Fable 2 and 3 are fine. Fable the Journey is very bad. Fable the Lost Chapters is not a good expansion to Fable.
There was like an Xbox arcade Fable game, like a cartoony thing. I can't think. I don't remember. I forgot what it was. Was it Fable Hero? No, Fable Heroes was the one they scrapped, wasn't it?
Yes, there's been 3 scrapped Fable games.
Okay, no. Fable Heroes is what I was talking about.
There have been 3 scrapped Fable games. So
like very cartoony, like Castle Crashers inspired, I think.
I'm assuming it was like the area of like you said, like Xbox Arcade. That's when
something like that.
Like when
yeah.
it was like when Xbox was pushing digital games, like they were very.
This was like in the era when Minecraft came to the Xbox 360.
Everybody has Uno era.
We're going so off topic.
Fuck you, Peter Molyneux. Anyways,
hey, my favorite guy.
Star Wars video games. Are
Peter
there
Molyneux should make a Star Wars.
Oh God, we already have.
You want to go to that galaxy over there? You can do it.
We already have what's his face doing Star Wars Eclipse. We don't need
Eclipse. Okay,
can
David
Cross?
Can I confidently say Eclipse is dead in a
Or is that somebody else?
David Cross isn't that guy who plays Ian Hawke?
That's the David Cross is the comedian. That's
did David never lose?
Rushing. Is it David Rushing?
No. Oh gosh.
Hold on. What's the studio's name?
I forget the studio's name. Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream.
Should make a Star Wars game.
David Cage.
David Cage. Wow. I said third time's the charm.
I say Eclipse is dead in a ditch and should be stayed dead in the ditch. I'm sorry. I remember like actively when Eclipse got first announced at the Game Awards, and it was so obviously it was a demo trailer because they didn't know what the game was going to be, and they were just throwing as much prequel visuals as they possibly could at you.
Oh yeah, prequel and High Republic.
It wasn't even High Republic. It was just like random.
Have you not seen the original Heavy Rain trailer?
I know, but my point was going to be, I remember like
press X to Jason.
Obviously, I don't speak for them, but I remember like
Solo.
I remember like Daniel Jose Older and like other High Republic creators coming out going, "Nope, we don't support Eclipse. We never got asked for our opinions on this game. We don't fucking support this shit."
One of the authors came out and it was like, "Yeah, we had no idea about this."
It was Daniel Jose Older. I know it was for a fact him, and that says volumes about like, ooh yeah. Like, I don't know. And plus, also, like, I know Eclipse was so early in development, but, like, it could just be in development hell, but it's like, I doubt the game's going to come out.
Quantic Dream has also, like, had a pretty nasty past in general, not just with the David Cage stuff, but just, like, the stuff with Elliot Page as well. Yeah, nothing's ever not happening until it's, like, officially, like people are like, oh, the KOTOR remake isn't happening. The KOTOR remake's happening.
KOTOR remake is still happening.
There's so many people hired a narrative designer and writer.
Well, because like so many like developers will just pop back up from the KOTOR remake, and be like, we're still working on it. Give us time.
Also talk about Photor, not Kotor, but yeah.
I mean, Photor.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Photor.
Photo R.
Chase's favorite acronym.
Photo R. No, like it'll be interesting. I think there's a lot of like cool stuff coming out. I mean, there's still like planned video game projects that we really haven't seen. There's still like that Remedy strategy game that's supposed to come out at some point. Not Remedy, Respawn.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah,
This is the Respawn strategy game.
It is.
Zero Company, Bit Reactor's working with.
I thought
Respawn,
there was
but
another one.
No,
okay.
this is the one.
There were rumors of a Total War Star Wars game.
Yes,
but
which
that's
never
what I
what
thought
I
it
which
was.
is what I
Okay.
still want. Like, I'm sorry, Total War, like where you have to like strategize against Thrawn and like Admiral Trench. Like, oh my
yeah,
god,
it
that'd
ended
be
up
such
being
a good.
I guarantee you in December, the Game Awards.
Yeah.
At this point.
My bet on the Game Awards is
Or D23.
I still think Game Awards will get like a Jedi 3 cinematic trailer, and then we'll get more gameplay in like Celebration 27.
I think the two big reveals at Game Awards are going to be, and I'm not being biased, it's going to be Jedi and Squadron 42 are going to be the Game Awards like big reveals.
Squadron 42, is that the.
Star Citizen single player.
Yeah.
And it's like
The single player game for the multiplayer game that's never going to actually come out
There-
or be finished.
And it's like, from Respawn's perspective, I can absolutely respect them going, hey, we could possibly show Jedi 3 during Summer Game Fest, but we want to give it its own. We want to give these two games a spotlight. Even though they're not working on Galactic Cruiser, but it's like we want to like respect Zero Company and give it its time in the sun. And then once it's been out for a while, then we'll be like, all right, guys, here's Jedi 3. Because we've known it's been in active development since. Like, I talked to the UX designer on Jedi 3. Like, yeah, I'm actively working. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always stuff being worked on, but yeah, like I do think the two big, I think the three big games that they will show at Game Awards will be Jedi 3, Squadron 42, and Divinity.
Yeah.
Will be I think we'll get like a gameplay demo for Divinity.
And Destiny 3. Yeah, right.
No, Destiny
yeah.
3. It's
You'll get
Destiny-
Marathon 2 before you get Destiny.
Destiny
we won't get
3
anything from Bungie at this rate.
Destiny 3 is about to go down the Battlefront pipeline of if you want a new Destiny game, you gotta wait like 5-10 years.
And spend at least $300 million.
And then it's gonna be built by people that love Destiny 1. And people plenty about how much they miss.
Does anyone
Play 'em.
love Destiny?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people, but I know people.
I was playing it last night. They brought back Sparrow Racing League.
Not even just Ryan. I know,
right when the game is
I know more people
basically
that
dead.
play YouTube than Ryan.
Yes.
I know more
Yeah.
people
Last
than Ryan.
update.
Hey, you could go play Warframe.
I'm good. I saw one of my old roommates was playing that. I was like, I'm not interested in this. I got enough with Destiny. I'm
Also,
good.
I'm surprised, Chase, when we're talking about Zero Company, because I know we're trying to wrap this up. I'm surprised you didn't go into the prequel, like, burnout of it all. I thought we're like getting Anakin, and it looks like, from the way Ryan and I were speculating about the trailer, it's probably getting all because that lightsaber did not look curved.
Just want to tell you, 1,000 hours on the Steam
what doesn't
version
look
of
good?
Destiny 2. That doesn't count the Battle.net version or the Xbox version. I put some time into this game.
Good
And that's
for you,
not even a
Ryan.
lot.
Good for you.
No, but I
Ryan.
was saying, Char, like, it's probably gonna be Maul, who's the dark side type character we see from the lightsaber,
Probably.
because we're
Yeah.
dealing with Maul Syndicate from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we got Anakin in the trailer, which, oh boy, you're gonna love it or hate it, depending which side of the
Yeah.
fandom you're on.
Like I'm at the point where I'm just like, yep, here we are.
I'm just surprised, like, how like positive you are about the game, because of how outspoken you are about the Clone Wars show, and how like you don't like the era, and like how much obsession that
don't-
side of the fandom gets of it.
I don't dislike the prequel era. There's things about the prequel era I like. I think we're oversaturated with prequel era content. I think that Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying to play it safe. I think they are really waiting for, and I'm not going to say this is a good or bad business decision. I think they probably have like a bunch of like greenlit projects they're just not even talking about that are like sequel adjacent
I
related.
agree.
And like once like they are still waiting for like the last specks of dust to settle, because this fan base just cannot handle anything.
I feel like they have come to terms and realized the people that are like young adults are Clone Wars fans, and then now we're in Rebels fans era. Like we're in that in between Clone Wars fans and Rebels fans. It's like those are now people that are like 18 up that are actively consuming.
I need the Resistance fans to grow up.
Resistance fans need to
Yes.
grow up. And it's like I have a feeling like once in Starfighter may be the first thing that changes it, but probably either Simon Kinberg's trilogy or New Jedi Order is I think we're gonna start seeing the shift.
I don't think that Starfighter is the test pool of are people ready for sequel content.
Yeah. Whether I think Kinberg's trilogy or New Jedi Order is going to be when we start seeing the shift, the fandom wise, go back to what it was like with the pre.
If Starfighter doesn't do well, I don't think that we're going to get a New Jedi Order movie.
I've been saying that for a while, not too. I've been saying that.
Yeah, no, Starfighter needs to.
It's a competition
Starfighter needs to
between
do really well.
between Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter. Which one does better will get more projects. I could confidently say
define better.
I'm not saying better. I'm saying which one will be more financially successful will get more projects.
Well, at this point, it's hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. Like, what
I think like as someone
one movie's
obviously
gonna make more than 300 million, then like that's like not a big asking price for a Star Wars movie.
you also have to understand like
For the
for
Clone Wars.
And also,
I think
it's like
the
more
thing
Disney
that I
Plus
have-
Hydrogen
projects
bomb
too.
coughing baby.
the thing that I haven't really seen a lot of people talking about with like Mando and Grogu is that for your average Star Wars fan, like that likes the Mandalorian and likes Baby Yoda, right? They are more than happy to watch that movie on Disney Plus. I think that Mandalorian Grogu is going to do really well on Disney Plus.
It was meant for it.
Literally, it was.
Thanks, Bob Iger.
I really enjoyed the movie. Not to derail everything yet again. It felt like a return to form for like TV show movies. Like when you would get like if you think like back to Serenity, like it really felt like that. It felt like the grand adventure for the TV show.
Which is
I think
which is funny because we're going to get the grand adventure with Filoni's movie. So this is like the redheaded stepchild of TV show movies.
the tricky part is with doing stuff like that is that if you look at like the old Star Trek movies, they're like super high production, like they look really good, and especially they looked really good in contrast to the TV shows, because the TV shows, and this is the other thing, like you guys were like been talking about like episode length for like TV shows and stuff like that, is it's just like there's a reason why Star Trek Next Generation has like 40 episodes per season, because every episode was made on a shoestring budget, and most of that budget went to writing. And so you could use cardboard sets, no one cared. You just use whatever costumes were available. You would recycle costumes. And now, thanks to Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones,
And Stranger Things. I would also say.
Stranger Things came a little later, but like TV shows are movies now. They're just long fucking movies. And so now you don't, when you watch The Mandalorian and Grogu, it's a good movie, but it's like it doesn't look any different from the show. Like there's the snake maybe is like the one thing I was like, oh, this looks really
also
good.
I would say like the arena fight and like them like storming into the palace, like that's stuff you would never see in the budget would never type of action and that type.
Yeah, it's weird, but like I think that like it's like you can't do that anymore, and I think they were trying to do it. That movie's going to do really well on Disney Plus. I think if Starfighter has a good box office and a good Disney Plus, like let's say 3-month window, you will start to get the announcements for sequel projects.
Yep. I've been pounding that hammer since both have been announced.
But like it has to succeed. Like it has no choice.
If it doesn't, enjoy the Clone Wars.
Which is why I think they put the pressure, not the pressure, but like they put Mando and Grogu as the quote unquote first Star Wars movie since Rise of Skywalker. I think to put the pressure a little bit off Starfighter, like in terms of like the public audience.
That's a big expense to relieve pressure.
Not really.
No, I think they put that out to make money. You know, they were expecting Grogu capitalism to work.
It was a safe bet.
Yeah.
Starfighter
'cause, I
is
mean, when you
where all
think
the
about
eggs
it,
are
like,
at.
I mean, a season of Mando is between 100 and 120 million, and it's going to be put on Disney Plus, and there's like an algorithm to probably calculate how much money it made on Disney Plus, but it doesn't actually directly make them money.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, put it on a box office for spend a little bit more, put it in the box office. Yeah, you may technically, not make a shitload of money, but it probably made money immediately faster than it would have on Disney Plus, on top of merchandising and marketing and all that kind of stuff. Like, and then it still has like the Disney Plus revenue generating when it pops up on the streaming, if that makes sense.
And it's like, I'm wondering with the new leadership, obviously I know this is pretty much like a tale of two podcasts, but like, it's the curiosity of like, because obviously I think the Disney Plus like takeover with Disney as a whole, like Lucasfilm, Marvel, all of it, Pixar, was very a Bob Chapek move, and then Iger adopted it when he came back as CEO. Now we have a new CEO, and it's like, are we going to see the shift back to movie theaters where that's more of the emphasis, and we get maybe like one or two Disney Plus shows that are kind of like supportive but not really? Or are we going to go back to Disney Plus dominates, and then you get like one or two movies a year from like each studio?
Well, with the Avengers being back, I expect. Well, Marvel's always been producing movies every single
But
year.
like, but obviously, I think a lot of the movies that we've gotten that would have been in theaters shifted to Disney Plus, like stuff like the Marvels, Hawkeye,
well, they have
Winter
hit theaters, they
Soldier.
just go to Disney Plus pretty fast.
I think they would have been like
Those
movies.
were approved as Iger's CEO. Those were always going to be shows.
like focusing on the Star Wars side of it. Like a lot of the shows that were greenlit were movies that were close to coming out, but they just didn't quite make the cut. And then they're like, "Oh, we like these ideas, so we're just gonna kind of bring them back out." Marvel's kind of like the similar way, even though like a lot, I always say like I think it's true. Like some of the announced as shows, but like in terms of like production, the way they handle it, they were pretty much movies in terms of like shot and written and
That's like the perfect example of like what Kingdom Hearts does of light and dark.
Is Vader going to be Zarade? Is that going to be his name?
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
no,
Nobody name.
Chase,
Fuck
you know,
off.
you know why I hope because like each like obviously I've never played, the last Kingdom
So
Hearts game I
cool.
played for the record was Kingdom Hearts 2 on PS2. That's how long it's been since I played.
I
Kingdom
want
Hearts game.
Xanakin.
No, I want Palpatine to be the big bad of the game because I think Palpatine as a big bad in a Kingdom Hearts game sounds funny as hell. And like try to like imagine Palpatine trying to take over the world of Kingdom Hearts.
Somehow
just
Palpatine
comedy.
became the boss of Kingdom Hearts.
No, I would love it. I would laugh
Somehow
my ass off.
Palpatine controlled Kingdom Hearts.
Like I think it'd be funny like, watching Sora team up with like Luke and Donald and Goofy are like fighting against Vader and Palpatine. Like that would be funny as hell.
Okay, I haven't seen this. Keyblade lightsaber. Is it just a lightsaber with a keyblade handle, or is it a keyblade blade that has the key at the end?
Keyblade lightsaber. They need to go all in. Don't like half shit this.
Hold on, I got another one. Is Leia a Princess of Heart?
I hate Kingdom Hearts, by the way.
The way this entire conversation is going over
You're
my
not
head
having
because like I'm
this.
not a Kingdom Hearts lore guy. Like someone tries to explain me the Kingdom Hearts lore, I'm like, what? Huh? How?
My
When?
favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts was watching AGDQ, and someone was doing a speedrun on Kingdom Hearts 2, and one of the donations was during the longest cutscene of the game, they needed to explain all of Kingdom Hearts lore before the cutscene ended.
My favorite games done quick version of Kingdom Hearts. I think it was the first one. It was either the first or second one. And doing the gummy ship missions, there were incentives that they would sing Disney songs doing the gummy ship missions.
So good. So good.
The way I'm not gonna play Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, or 3, I'm just gonna skip straight to 4 and just expect the game to explain everything to me.
It won't.
I won't. I'll just accept it for what it is.
But you will get like 30 hours of cutscenes with 20 hours of gameplay. If Kingdom Hearts 3 is anything to go by.
I just hope they. I hope they just like a joke. I'm not expecting it, but I do want Palpatine as the main villain because I think it would be
I
the
hope Luthen
funniest.
Rail's a summon in Kingdom Hearts 4.
It would be the funniest fucking thing imaginable.
Oh god.
He just screams everything. That's his attack. It just echoes.
Cassian Ander.
Cassian Ander.
Man,
We gotta
Kingdom
wrap
Hearts
it
is
up.
Kingdom Hearts is a thing. Let's wrap it up with what's your favorite Star Wars video game? How about that?
I would
Battlefront
me,
3.
Hell yeah!
Of the 360 game that never came out.
Not gonna lie, Battlefront 2015.
I like that answer
Battlefront
because it's a
2015.
very good video game.
I still play it to
I
this
think it's
day.
better than Battlefront 2 2017. I think
I
that
agree.
is better.
I
I think
still
it's a better
play.
video game.
I still play Battlefront 1 to this day, and there's
The
still
most-
lobbies, active lobbies.
Wait,
a
I just
decade
realized
later.
this. Pod Ones is now perfectly balanced. We got 2 Battlefront 2 lovers. I'm obviously talking about the remakes. And then we got 2 Battlefront 1 lovers, enjoyers.
I'm a Battlefront 1 person, not a Battlefront 2 person.
Well, I mean, not to be
you're
it's like-
you're
I mean,
you're the
obviously,
outcast here.
I mean, obviously,
I have
I'm
one.
saying, since obviously you haven't been in the podcast so I'm saying Ryan, Luke, Char, and me, us 4, it's perfectly balanced.
So I have one. I love it for its story and its concept art cutscenes. Battlefront Renegade Squadron. How about that?
The PSP game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, those orbital strikes that you would drop.
Mhm.
Ooh.
I'm gonna beat
I
Chase
love-
to the punch on this one. I'm probably gonna say Jedi Fallen Order. Be a basic pick.
Could set Survivor and just piss Chase off.
I
Why
get,
would you? How are you beating me to the punch on that one?
I thought Fallen Order is your favorite Star Wars game of all time.
No,
Were
like
you
Terrence
not-
Costy. Come on.
Yeah.
Galaxy?
Also,
Did you even
also,
listen?
were you not listening to me? I said like the best Star Wars game is Star Wars Galaxies. Like, and Star Wars Fallen Order or Jedi Fallen Order is not. It's definitely up there, but like KOTOR 1 and 2 are better than Fallen Order.
Well,
like
again, Chase, you
Rogue
know me. You've
Squadron's
been
better
through
than
me
Fallen
with the
Order.
KOTOR
Squadron's
journey.
better than Fallen Order.
You've been with me with the
Yeah,
KOTOR
you're
journey.
bad at video games, dude.
Okay.
You
Just
know,
wait till we see him do Jedi Survivor on his drum set.
Fallen
Oh,
Order
wait for
and
that.
Jedi Survivor. It's
We
gonna be both
did-
games.
We did a speed run challenge.
Oh god, I
on-
fucking fucked that up bad.
We did a speed run challenge, and I told everyone you need to practice Jedi Fallen Order to do this.
I had a busy week with finals that week. I didn't
You
have
got
time
stuck
to
on that-
practice.
You got stuck on the first ATST.
I
That thing takes
know.
7 seconds to take down.
I know.
I
did the-
finished it like 3 hours before everyone else.
I did a lot of practice
No.
of speed running Disney Infinity, the Clone Wars.
Oh my
campaign.
god. I remember
Because you
that.
can get that shit done in like 40 minutes.
Real respect, real.
I will say, I will redeem myself when we get the Jedi 3 getting closer to because I will do the drum set thing. And it'll be one of the funniest fucking things because I don't think anyone's ever attempted it before. I've seen people do like PS1, PS2 era games. Just map it to
Based on your
There's no way you're going to be able to do it.
drum set playing I saw, I don't have any faith you'll be able to beat.
I mean, it's just what
I
the 4
agree.
pads are W, A, S, and D, and then I just got to map lightsaber combat and then shift probably to my pedals.
Dude, you're going to be like doing this, just constantly walking.
Oh,
just like,
pairing's gonna be the 2 symbols. It's gonna be like hi-hat crash, like back and forth, back and forth. I'm gonna be like,
you need
can
to,
you
like, you're going to
That motion, I didn't get that. Can you do that motion again for me real quick? Yeah, just can we clip that?
You need to like install like your like a DDR pad just to do the WASD movements. So you
no,
can
it's gonna be
then-
the 4 it's gonna be the snare and the 3 toms. That's
there's
gonna be
no way
W,
you
A,
get
S, and
it.
D.
There's no way it works.
You honestly, you would probably want to put like you moving forward as your kick drum, like just to be able to hold it down.
Well, because I was thinking like my kick drum would be shift most likely.
You do not want a digital input that you're just smacking once to be a movement that's based on an analog movement. You should have it as your kick drum.
And then, so yeah, it'd be and then what the fuck? I'm assuming jump would be one of the symbols.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be comedy gold. And I don't know what difficulty I'm gonna play it on.
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster.
What are you, a fucking coward?
Oh, Lord.
Terran Malicos is gonna take me fucking hours. It took me like 3 hours by itself.
Terran Malicos is such an easy boss.
Yeah, if you've never played the game.
If you've never played on Grandmaster, it's not easy. But if you played it like 2 or 3 times, yes. But on a drum kit,
I didn't even play Fallen Order on Grandmaster. I played it on, I think, on Jedi Knight, and that was still a challenge.
no, it depends on who you ask. Because some people struggle more with Trilla than Terran. I struggle more with Trilla. But anyway, we're getting way sidetracked here.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
wrap it up.
Oh,
We've been going for 3 hours.
South Korea and Czechia are playing right now, so
Yeah. Mexico
USA
won.
tomorrow.
Yeah. USA and Paraguay.
Also, by the way, it's not going to be a speed run. The challenge itself is
No,
the
you're
drum kit.
speed running it.
you
I'm
got.
not.
Well,
Anyways, all right.
You gotta clear the splits every time you die. No die run.
Closing out.
0 death.
Tyro will be-
All right. Mogging Hereth.
Where can we find you mogging me?
I've been mocking you this whole time.
Hopefully, we'll have you talk more about video games. I love hearing you talk about like anything like Star Citizen or Star Wars game related. Like it's super fun to hear your input because I feel like you've been on the block with every
Unfortunately,
He's
every
old.
single
He's
I'm
saying you're
old.
old.
version.
on status.
I'm not saying he's old. I'm saying he's decorated. Okay, he has his stars and stripes.
That's just the politically correct term.
All right. No, Chase, where can the good people of the Pawans community find you?
Instagram #2 anime fan is the best way to find me, and it's all bike content. Sorry if you like video games or Star Wars. I don't talk about it on social media anymore. I just do dank memes about bikes.
Chase just occasionally decides to just pop up on Pod once and jump scare us to just get their Star Wars rants off.
I
He
told
gave
you
us a
guys.
heads up
I
earlier.
told you I'd be here.
I mean, obviously not today, but like in general.
But yeah, Ryan, where can the good people find you?
They can find me at RyanPW_ over on TikTok and Twitter, or X, the everything app, as Chase calls it.
Oh,
Hereth.
Sure.
no Twitter to me. So anyway, you can find me over at Hereth Productions on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. And of course, you can find me here over at the Pod Ones podcast as we start to get into our House of the Dragon Season 3 coverage with our prediction episode. Definitely not be chaos. It will totally be chaos because it's and Josh.
And you can find me at the Pod Ones podcast, usually every Thursday. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at CharJ, as spelled right here. And I want to say thank you guys all for watching. And Dracarys, may the force be with you, and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Ah!